Hey guys, Max here, and right now I'm going to record another video. This one's a bit less educational than the last one, but it's a very sweet draft and a bit of a tip on what to avoid, maybe. And of course, like always, I'll explain all my thought processes. I'm not exactly sure what the plural of process is, but I'll try my best. I'm going to explain it all and explain to you some mistakes. And if I have some time and I remember, I might explain how I've adapted my draft strategy from last time to include aggro a little more, particularly white aggro, and elaborate on why I think blue and black are so bad at common level. Excuse me. I also might record in two different partitions, i.e., record like the draft and then one game, and then take a break and then record the other two games with my commentary because it did take a while last time. At the end, I was kind of miserable because it took so long. Anyways, I think we'll just get started. So I first picked. Unfortunately, I didn't catch the first pick, but the Archangel was a very easy one. The rare sucked. I don't remember what I took the Vandal over, but I have to imagine the rest of the pack was pretty shit, or I would have taken it. I would take like a Star or a Wellspring even over Vandal, because Vandal wheels a lot. Now we're in this pack. We've got a Conclave Naturalist and a Rapacious Dragon. I think the only two picks. I'm not going to explain too much about why I'm taking them. I'll explain a little bit about why I'm taking Naturalists here. I think Naturalist is a significant amount better because it's just a better card on power level. In addition, there's two red cards, and super in addition, the red cards wheel a lot more. Particularly the Dragon wheels a lot more than it should. I have found Naturalist to wheel too, way more than I think it should, but I think it's definitely the pick here is the only green card. Like, if there was also a Bloodbriar and a Cosmic Predator in this pack, I might actually go for the Dragon, assuming one of those three green cards would wheel, since those are the green cards I like. So yeah, I think it's pretty easy Conclave Naturalist here. You can see me, like, you hear some licking in the background. My dogs are licking each other. They're kind of weird. They do that. I can show it on camera. No, that'd be good. Yeah, now she's hacking. Stella, what are you doing? All right, so then another somewhat mediocre pack. I think the top of the statue is just a really good card in the format. It's like Conclave Naturalist, except instead of making a 4/4, you draw a card, which isn't quite as good, but given that you can't easily play Conclave Naturalist in white, it seems like an easy pick. And also, there's not much else good in this pack. Oh, they're playing back there. They're gonna play with each other. You guys hear that? Sorry, I can show you a little bit. Can you guys see back there? All right. Well, while they're playing, I'll try and sit like this in case you guys can see. I might even make it a little bigger. Hold on. Oh, that's pretty cute. Yeah, they're playing back there. All right, well, I'll make it bigger while I'm drafting so you guys can see if you're interested. If this detracts from your view enjoyment, let me know, and then next time I won't record while they're playing. A bit of a mediocre pack. I think Whisper of the Wilds is going to end up, and this is something I would change. I think right now, current max, it might just be biased because I know what's going to happen in this draft, and you guys probably know because of the title, but there's a lot of 5-drops in this draft. So I would take the Whisperer, but I ended up taking the Bloodshot Trainee because my friend Hunter Cochran, / Michael Cochran, told me to try the card some more because I think I was underrating it. And it just seems like it has less potential as an uncommon. But like I said, going back, I think I would definitely take the Naturalist since I end up in green a lot more than almost as much as red, if not an equal amount, maybe even more. And also, I end up having too many 5-drops a lot with both Naturalists and Dragon. And in particular, I mean, Magnifying Glass and the Whisperer both help you ramp to 5. But the issue is that I usually end up having a lot of 3-drops and not of 2-drops because there's both Gremlins and Bloodbriar on 3 in the green-red decks or whatever. So playing a 2-drop ramp spell is much better. Sometimes you don't even want Vandal. All right, let's skip ahead a little bit to the next pack. Yeah, they're playing back there. That's really cute. What are you doing, girls? Not sure why this pack's taking so long. Wow, that's crazy. All right, well, good thing I can skip ahead. Okay, so pretty mediocre pack. There's a Clover Flame Fiend. It could also take Clear Shot, but I don't think it's even ever close to taking Clear Shot here. I think it's pretty easy Clover Flame Fiend. I could see the Merge Reaver too occasionally, but I think this early in the draft, a Flame Fiend's more important. Like if I already had a bunch of Vandals or a Flame Fiend or whatever, and I didn't have a lot of artifacts to sack, I would take the Merge Reaver here, but I mean, I can't pass a Flame Fiend at this point. Alright, let's head some more to the next pack. Okay, we've got a Rapacious Dragon pretty late, but there's also a Conclave Naturalist. I don't actually remember what I ended up taking here. Let's think about it. Let's run it through the. Alright, well, now I guess I know, but I think the Naturalist might be better here. It's just such a good card, it's so easily splashable, but on the other hand, Rapacious Dragon is such good glue. It makes tokens for the Flame Fiend and the Vandal both, and it's just a good card. I mean, I talked about this in my previous video, so go ahead and watch that if you want to learn more about why I think red is so good and why I think this card is so good in particular. Red, it's just a 3/3/3 flyer, worst case, right? And then also has synergy with the rest of your deck. But Naturalist is also just an absurd card, so I'm really not sure what the correct pick is, to be honest. I think the Dragon's totally defensible, and it's close at this point, but it's also a late signal. Naturalist is a late signal, whereas Dragon is not a late signal because people don't value it very highly. So, and passing it late might mean that someone else goes into green, which isn't good for us, actually. So we're not seeing much white here. We are seeing good green. Now I'm kind of regretting the passing that now that we got an Aberration. I don't think I ever take the Banshee here, since I already have a lot of 5-drops, and I end up with a lot of 5-drops in my red decks. And also I just hate black, so I think it's definitely the Aberration or the Puzzle Knot here. I could also see taking the Capsule. Yeah, the Capsule's actually reasonable. I mean, I think I actually like the Capsule on just the hedge. It's just the most powerful card, and we don't know what colors we're in. We're pretty locked into red at this point, since we've got a late Flame Fiend and Dragon, and we might even wheel the last Dragon. And also just red is the best color in my opinion, at least right now. But it's not even going for the Capsule and just taking the best card and trying to decide what I'm going to play later. Pretty mediocre pack here. Ancient Stories is fine. Check the Room's fine. Because I might hedge towards like a red-white equipment deck with the Trainee. I think Trainee was definitely a regrettable pick, and I wish I'd taken it. I ended up going for the Ancient Stories, which I think is totally reasonable. All the cards there are bad. It's the most likely to end up in our deck. Because if you end up in like green-red mid-range or whatever with Vandals, it's really nice because it can hit land drops, hit your fixing for splashing, and it can just hit like the artifacts you want. If you're low on like stars or Ichor Wellsprings, then it can fill that gap. I don't know if you can see that, but with Big Dog Stella's just lying there and Lulu's staring at her. She's about to go attack her. So there was nothing new. I see we will do. Yeah. Anyways, so in this pack there was nothing really good. Just a Bolivian Rage. I hate blue and black, so that's a pretty easy pick there. I'm not gonna go into that too much. And then, as you will see in a second, we did wheel the dragon very luckily. I hope you enjoyed watching my dogs play. I'm enjoying watching it. I hope you can see it. And it's kind of small, but anyways. So we wheeled the dragon, easy slam. I think I'm taking Costly Plunder here because I got the capsule now, and I might end up in black. And I only have one current sack outlet, the Vandal. So I might end up wanting a Plunder. You never know. It's even better than the rest of this garbage. I think Throwing gets horrible in this format as an artifact sack outlet because there's just not that much to proliferate on. I mean, here we'll take it over at Divest. Actually, I might just take the Divest here. I freaking hate Throwing It's so bad. Neither of them are ever ended up in my deck, really. I think I should take a Divest on second thought. Because actually, Divest ends up in my deck some amount of the time. I think it's a little underrated card. And black actually pulls black together a little bit. So right now, we're not exactly sure what colors we're in. We're either green, black. I'm trying to sort my cards here, so I should actually shrink my camera down and move it up so you guys can see what I'm doing there. There we go. Hopefully this won't block the cards. Sorry for the camera adjustments. I wanted you guys to be able to see my dogs. I think they're pretty cute, but if it detracts from your enjoyment of the content, please let me know so I can fix it for next time. I say this every time, but I would much prefer that you tell me what you don't like about the content than you not watch in the future. So feedback is always appreciated. Skip ahead a little bit. So yeah, I'm just sorting my cards. I'm pretty locked into red with that late dragon and just a nice red space, and I'm deciding what to go into after this. So what do we open here? We opened a Thragtusk, which is an easy slam, and a Shamanic Revelation, and a Cosmic Predator. Strangely, I think I'm definitely digging the Thragtusk because worst case I just splash green and the card's amazing, right? And I think Kavu Predator / Air Whisper of the Wilds is actually a significant amount better than Shamanic Revelation. It's just another 5-drop. It's awkward unless you have a lot of creatures in play, which currently we have 0 Predators. If we had some more Predators, I would probably be more hyped on it, but this doesn't seem like a creature-heavy deck right now. So I actually think I'm going to take either the Predator or the Whisperer. I think I'm going to take the Predator since I felt like Whisperers go later, and you could also replace them with Everflow and Chalice. But, like I said, in the way that it pans out, it would have turned out that the Whisperer would have been a lot better. Cosmic Predator is also just good. You can cheat out the Flame Fiend a turn earlier. And even if you have a lot of 5-drops, it just means that you don't get fucked nearly as much if you get stuck on 4, because you can play Predator into 2 5-drops with your 0-1s to buy you time. And if one of those is Dragon, then yeah, you can keep playing your 5-drops. So I think Predator's a pretty solid pick here still, even with the Whisper, but I mean, it's tough. I definitely don't think it's a Revelation. I think we're just too far away, and there's just so many good 5-drops. There's the Naturalist. It's just a good 5-drop. And you get quite a few of them. So Flame Fiend or Ash Barrens. I end up going for the Flame Fiend here. The second, in particular, because the second Flame Fiend is important, because having 2 targets to tutor for with the, I don't exactly remember the name of the card, but it's 2 and a green, it's a 1/1, and it lets you tutor for a creature with CMC 6 or more, and put it in your hand. So having 2 makes that card a lot better. Alright, they're pretty much done playing. I'm going to shrink my camera down a little bit so you guys can see the cards. So yeah, that's the reason we take the second Flame Fiend here. Also, we have 2 Dragons and only 1 Vandal so far. Well, we do have a Phrenologath, but I don't even know what things in my fucking deck. The card's complete trash. Even with Archangel Thune, I still wouldn't play it because if you get a trigger off Archangel, the game's pretty much already over. You don't need a Phrenologath to finish it off for you. So we're looking to be pretty off-white. Okay, I missed a pick. Shit. Okay, shit. So I slammed Conjurer's Closet since there's a bunch of cards that I don't want to play because they're not my color. Closest to be Sanctum Gargoyle if we end up in white, but it seems like we're pretty off. And Conjurer's Closet looks like it's going to be really nice here. We've got Predator, Naturalist, Thragtusk. It's amazing with Thragtusk. 2 Dragons, which is totally fine with to make more artifacts, sack the Vandal / Flame Fiend, and you can blink the Flame Fiends as well. So this is an easy Conjurer's Closet, although more 5-drops is getting a bit rough. And then another 5-drop. I could have taken the Gremlins here, but I don't actually have that many artifacts. The only good thing that it's good with right now are Rapacious Dragon, and with the Conjurer's Closet, even though it is a 5-drop, which detracts from it, it blinks Naturalist, which is just insane. If you blink a Naturalist every turn, your opponent just can't resolve artifacts, and they just lose the game, right? I mean, even 1 trigger is bad enough off the closet. Once you start doing that every turn, the game's just kind of over. Deathwing Ritual also wouldn't be bad, since I might end up splashing a color. I've got the 2 Dragons for fixing so far, but I think I just have to take Naturals there. Pretty easy Predator here. I could take the Aberration. I like the first Aberration to have an extra thing to tutor for with the 1/1 that tutors for 660 or more. But Predator is also really good, because A, it buys time with chumping, and like I said earlier, it also kind of counts as another land, right? If you get stuck on 4, it means you don't just lose instantly, whereas if you get stuck on 4 and you don't, I'd love a Bloodbriar at this point, because I have 2 Predators and a Rapacious Dragon, but I think I have to take the Whisper at this point. 6 5-drops, 2 Flame Fiends, the Predators I need to ramp into, my early stuff, my nothing early, I think I just have to, 100% have to take the Whisper here, even though this does feel really bad. I also wouldn't mind a Disintegration to splash black at this point, but because I definitely could afford it, but I think the Whisper is just far too important. So now I wish I'd pick Whisperers more, pack 1. and even the first pick of this pack. But hopefully that one will wheel. I'd be very happy if that one wheels. I don't actually remember if it does, so I can't tell you for sure. Seems like Silver Mysteries. We've got a very high creature count right now, and I could see us getting outvalued by like a blue-black deck, which Mysteries might help with. Another Stirrings and a Vines from the sideboard are also playable, but you can get those pretty late, so I think it's pretty easy Mysteries here. I'm not going to go too much into depth why, but I kind of already did, actually. It also makes artifact tokens. Oh, shit. God damn it, I keep missing stuff. Why is it? I guess I must just slam a Riku pretty quickly. Anyway, so yeah, we take the Mysteries pretty happily. Well, somewhat happily. It also makes artifacts, like I said, for the Flame Fiend and the Vandal. So yeah, we take that. I won't skip ahead too much so we don't miss the pick, since I realized I slammed a Riku. Yep, there's a Riku and nothing else in this pack. I actually wouldn't have minded an Expedition map at some point in this draft to make sure I hit my land drops as well as fixing my mana, even though it is very expensive. But given that I'm short on early drop, it seems okay. But I think it's pretty easy Riku here. Pretty easy to splash. Pretty good card. Actually, I mean, there's nothing else in packs. It's definitely the pick, but I think I actually built my deck on it. Riku does not look good in this deck. It's a 5-drop that doesn't impact the board, which is fine if you're staying ahead of tempo, but we've got a bunch of other 5-drops that do impact the board, so you just don't have time for Riku. And in addition, Riku requires blue mana to trigger. For those of you who don't know, Riku is 2 green, blue, red, and it's a 2/2. And it says whenever creature ETBs, or whenever your creature enters the battlefield under your control, a non-token creature, you can pay a blue and a green to copy that creature, like your token that's copy of it. And whenever you cast an instant sorcery, you can pay blue, red to copy that instant sorcery. So we wielded the Whisper, we're very happy about that. But yeah, so what I was saying is Riku is just awkward, because A, it's a 5-drop that doesn't impact the board, and we have a bunch of other 5-drops. And more importantly, it requires blue mana to activate. Which, if we're splashing with Rapacious Dragon, then we don't have infinite blue mana because we don't have an island in play. We just have a splash blue mana. So it actually looks really bad in this deck. And it's possible I should have cut it. A cool interaction with it is that you can, if you're stuck on 5, you can play it and then play Rapacious Dragon if you have the blue source. And then you can stack the triggers such that you make the treasures and then you copy the dragon for free, which is pretty sweet, actually. So somewhat late Sift, and I could end up splashing it if I feel like I need card draw to smooth me out, but here, I think I take Down Wide Embrace because cheating out with a dragon is potentially worth it in certain matchups, which actually ends up being very smart because I think I end up siding into blue in one matchup, and possibly I should have ended up more. I also consider taking the Blood Moon because there is Tron in the format, and you can't just lose to it. Like, when you're trying to play control deck, I wield that. I was very happy about wielding the Aberration. You can make sure I hit my 5th land drop, and if I don't, it's more value in the late game in addition to more mana to cast like 2 5-drops in the same turn. So what was I saying? Saying something about something that I forgot about. Something about siding into... Oh, Blood Moon. Yeah, because if you're trying to go late game, but like in a mid-range style, with this deck, you will get outclassed by Tron if they have Gelatinous Genesis, which for those of you who don't know is a blue, a green, and XX, and you make XXXs. XXXs. You can look up the card. It's hard to describe without sounding like you're alliterating or whatever. So this is a pretty horrible pack. We have to take a Naturalist, even though it's another fucking 5-drop, which is just absurd. That's just so many 5-drops. But, I mean, what else are we going to take? And then Clone Show also seems fine, but it's another goddamn 5-drop. So, I mean, what else are we taking here? Peace Strider? I think I actually can take the Peace Strider for the sideboard, since might want to take an aggro deck. The Naturalist is definitely one of the picks. And, yeah, the rest of this is just complete and utter trash. It feels bad. Honestly, a Lightning Axe doesn't look horrible. It's the first removal spell. We do have the Flame Fiends, but currently we only have 2 dragons to make treasures to sack. And maybe a Mysteries. I also want to hit the Temple Magnet, which I can see I'm thinking about, because you could tap some things to stabilize and gain some life, or save some life, and then you can sack the Flame Fiend later. So I think that actually is a nice pick. Awakening Stone is amazing here. Absolutely amazing. Could have had a 4th Naturalist too, but could actually had 5 this draft if I really wanted to, which would have been kind of absurd, but I don't think I ever want more than 4. 3 already is kind of pushing it. Yeah, I think it has to be the Awakening Zone. It just ramps into my 5-drops so nicely. You can save extra mana. If you're like stuck on 3, it can help. Brandon Mimic's busted. I'd love it. Ichor Wellspring and sacking these Flame Fiends and this Vandal. Same with Pentent Prism. If it wheels, I'll be very happy here. Because both splashes me and rips out my 5-drops. Like, Pentent Prism's actually just insane in this deck. And then you can sack to the Flame Fiend later. But I think Mimic's just more insane, especially if we end up getting the 1/1 that tutors. Because, and that card goes late. And we haven't seen it yet because it didn't get opened. But the card goes very late. And being able to tutor for Mimic is just so powerful. Because Mimic's such a powerful card. Mediocre pack. I think I'm actually really happy with a Gleaming Barrier here since it makes multiple artifacts to sack. In addition to, I can like chump, or if they use a removal spell on it, then it can ramp me out to my 5-drops. Splash fix my mana for splash. So Gleaming Barrier actually ends up being a very solid card here. I mean, it's no Whisper of the Wilds, but it's good. It's very good. It's a solid replacement. The lighting's also kind of shit in my room. Yeah, the issue is I have a big fan overhead. You can't really show it to you guys, but I've got a fan overhead, and that's where the light's attached to. And the chair kind of blocked it, so my face is a little dark. I might get some lighting if people think it's gonna look nice. That's another thing you can give me feedback on, is whether you think some lights would be nice to make my face brighter. You know. All right, so we'll skip ahead a little bit. Hopefully, I think I'm actually getting better at not talking too fast. Might just be that I'm very tired today. I only got 6 hours of sleep last night. I couldn't fall asleep till like 6 or 5 a.m. and then I had to wake up at 11 to take my dogs to the park. Before. Yeah, I mean, the park's not... I don't get into all that, but... Anyways, I had to wake up at 11. I'm not on auto sleep, so hopefully this will fix my sleep schedule. I can jumpstart it and then go to sleep early tonight. But you guys don't need to know all that. It's taking a while to get a pack, okay? And then we just pick Clear Shot really easily. Yeah, I mean, it's a garbage pack. There's a Clear Shot, and the Rebuke is... No, there's just nothing else here. The Iron Bowl I actually think about because it's another artifact to sack that isn't horrible, but it has to be the clear shot. We're really short on removal. Our only removals are Flame Fiends right now, as you can see me clicking. And the naturals kind of count, but there are things you need to kill that aren't artifacts, or they can they can get rid of all your naturalists. It's a little bit of clunky because if they're playing the counter spells, I'm getting a higher opinion. I might just be that I don't know how to draft blue and black. I think they're still the worst two colors by some margin, but not as much as I originally hypothesized, because I think as the format's adapted and become more reliant on these red, I mean, no one's still playing red, but on green cards in particular, like green tokens and Conclave Naturalists in particular, and that blue decks are really weak to that. The ability to play an artifact deck and have access to Metallic Rebuke to counter Conclave Naturalist is just so powerful. And you have to leave one mana up too, so that might be a little bit more depth in the format that I might have missed. Easy Predator, third one's getting a little awkward. I also wouldn't mind an Invigorate or even Ancient Stirrings, as you can see, to look for the artifacts. In particular, I love Ancient Stirrings next to the Conjurer's Closet because you can actually get a proactive bomb, which is amazing. I think I'm underrating. I'm not sure if I've had an opportunity to draft at this draft, but I underrate in general the 7 mana 4/4 artifact, Sandstone Oracle. It's a 7 mana artifact. It's a 4/4 flyer. When it ETBs, you draw cards until you have the same number of cards in hand as your opponent, right? And I think I underrated that a little bit. You can do cool stuff with Ramp. It's an artifact that you can get with Ancient Stirrings, which is nice. You could tutor it up with the one I was telling you about, which unfortunately I haven't seen any of this draft. I think we got one more pick to find one. So here I could take a Yavimai's Embrace, which I actually think would be the correct pick, but I end up going for the Cathartic Reunion because I just can't see myself playing blue. But look at my deck. What if I just cut the red cards and play blue-green? Is the deck just still insane? My curve gets a million billion times better. I have 5 5-drops instead. I still get to keep the Mimic. I can even splash the Riku if I really want to, but I don't really want to. I would have 2 Embraces, a decent amount of ramp. I can cheat them out with the Predators if my mana isn't shit, which it probably won't be. And I can just do crazy things. So I think that would have been the correct line. I do end up siding into the blue at some point, but I think it's just an oversight from my part. I mean, to be fair, it's really hard to recognize that. It would be a lot easier on the previous Moto layout where I could actually see all my cards on my sideboard and think about it. But since Wizards decided to be assholes and change it to this new garbage, somehow they made it worse. I don't know how the fuck they keep making things worse when they're trying to make them better, but they do. And I was also not complaining about Wizards. I shouldn't blame them entirely. It's definitely my fault for being an oversight. So keep stuff like that in mind, right? It looked like we were locked into red in the first pack and the second pack with 2 Flame Beans and 2 Dragons, but we've just seen nothing. And the Flame Beans are really awkward in our deck because we don't have that many things to sack to them. We can sack Barrier pretty happily, Tumble Magnet pretty happily, but the other issue with Tumble Magnet is it's just a bad card if I don't draw the sack outlet. Orcish Vandal's awkward because it's mostly good because it's repeatable, and you don't really need it in this deck because there's no way in hell I'm doing it more than once. All right, the last pack to see new cards, we get Empath. I'm very happy about that. You can see, Fierce that's what the card's called. It's the tutor effect. 3 mana 1/1 that tutors I think something with CMC 6 or more. Easy Peace Strider for the sideboard. Probably not gonna play it, but I like having 1 or 2 Peace Striders in the sideboard. It's really nice for aggro decks, I think. Little bit of an underrated card. And I could have just taken. I think I do take a Steel Sabotage. So in my blue deck, I could have just had a nice green blue deck, a nice clean green blue deck. Even though I hate blue, but this is a good use of blue. It's mono green and the Splashing Progenitor Mimic and two of the Mind Controls, which are great if your opponent's not playing Conclave Naturalists. Could have even had a Feral Mechanist, not that I would have played it. So that was an oversight from my part. And yeah, I mean I don't need to talk about it more than that, but just something to keep in mind that you don't. A lot of the times in the format I have this happen where while last being very, there's just no respect for this card. I'll talk about this a little more. My friend Hunter and I discussed it, but I think the card's very underrated, and it's never that bad. I mean, it's a free spell. Free spells are gas when your opponent don't care about your opponent's life total, and you're looking to block, looking to use blockers, and it's just great. All right, I don't actually remember, but why? But it takes 13 minutes for me to finalize my deck. That might keep in mind. I might have walked away. I don't know, and I don't feel like scrubbing through it to find out. And I also might have just spent that much time trying to build my deck because it's a very, very difficult deck to build. And I think a lot of people should do that more if they want to win. I mean, if you want to play more Magic, then sure, just breeze through deck building or whatever. But yeah, I mean, and if I thought about it even more, I might have even realized that I should still play blue, even without taking that Yavimai's Embrace. I should have. Red sucks. Why the fuck am I playing red? The best part of red is that the Flame Beans kill my opponent's stuff, and I guess the Empath tutors for them. It's kind of awkward to cut them because I only have one thing to Empath for, so I might have to cut it. But even then, I probably still keep it because Predator Mimic's so busted. So yeah, I could just cut this red and be very happy. I can play Invigorate, Sift, Steel Sabotage, Yavimai's Embrace. My mana gets a lot better. My curve gets a lot better. The deck just gets a lot better. And I think I even thought about it after a game where I sided into that because I thought it was better against my opponent, and I still decided not to do it. So if I thought about it more, it also might just be hindsight. You never know. I mean, it's hard to disentangle what's hindsight and what's not. So anyways, I'm going to scrub through, and we'll get to the final list. Actually, no. First we'll do an interesting segment where I'm going to say what, assuming I don't make the correct line, or what I think is the correct line now, and just play blue-green, what would I cut from here? And I actually have no clue. I might just scrub through and trust past Max to have done it correctly. I'm just going to scrub through. Fuck it. We'll explain it later. He knows how to do it better than I do, and I don't want to spend much time when he already has, if that makes any sense. Alright, so we'll see what ends up happening. Nothing. I end up putting the mysteries in, then I cut it. Okay. Alright. Here's the final deck list. What do we cut? All right, so we're not playing the Vandal, which I think is very smart, as I talked about in the draft, because it's only good because it's repeatable, and we already have the 2 Flame Fiends to sack things. We end up playing Tell Magnet, which I don't love, but, I mean, I need things to sack the Flame Fiend. It's not a bad thing to sack the Flame Fiend. It's not nearly as good as a Star or a Wellspring, but what are you going to do? I don't play the Mist Rage, which I think is correct, because the 5-drops should get us enough value on their own, plus the Flame Fiend, but, I mean, I could play them for free if I was just playing blue instead of red. It should have been really nice. And it still provides very good value. I don't know, that card is just so good. With extra mana, with Rapacious Dragon, with the Naturals, it's just such a good card. And we have a Cry Creature count too. I think I should have played it. It's just I couldn't figure out what to cut it for. What to cut for it. Another Ancient Storms also wouldn't be bad, but and by that I mean the first one. I could have even done that in 16 lands maybe. Yeah. I wanted more lands to make sure I hit my naturals. Yeah, this deck is just constructed poorly. So I think I drafted pretty well, and at least this could be an example of what to make sure you avoid, which is just a general limited principle. Avoid horrible curves like this with a bunch of 5-drops. And if you can, make sure you build to sustain those. Like if you're forced to play a bunch of 5-drops because they're all really good, which even though I'm not here, I have to play these for green 5-drops, but I don't have to play these red 5-drops. But even assuming that you did have to play those, I could construct my deck better to make sure I can cast them on time, because I think a decent number of games that I lose in this draft are going to be because I don't hit my land on turn 5 and I just lose instantly with 8 5-drops. So playing the Historians would be nice and just find something to cut. The Vestries would be fine too. We do have the Aberration, which is kind of nice. I think Cathartic Reunion is just awkward too. I hate Cathartic Reunion in general, and I explain this why on stream, but I'll talk about it a little more here. And the reason for that is because a lot of times you have to discard 2 cards that you want, and you don't know if you're going to draw into more. So, like, let's say you have lands and spells in hand, right? And you want to play it because otherwise it's just a dead card in your hand, and later in the game you'll have to wait a bunch of turns before you play it. But the issue is if you discard lands, you might not draw more, and if you discard spells, you might not draw more, and you don't know what you're going to draw until you discard. So it's great in the late game when you're flooding, and it's okay. I think this is another scenario. It's great at anti-flood, and it's also good in this scenario where you have too many 5-drops or too many of the same curve point that you might want to discard to make sure you hit the land drops. And then in the late game, it can be anti-flood. But even here, it's just awkward because, like, why is this better than an Ancient Series? It's just a guaranteed hit land. I guess I can have more than one land and get rid of some of these 5-drops that I don't need, but it just seems awkward. In addition to the fact that it's a red card that I kind of want early, and I don't have any guarantee of being able to cast my red cards early. So I think I could definitely cut that for, like, a Historians or whatever. Anyways, I hope that's informational to deck building as a whole, but also in this format and this deck. So yeah, there's a lot of good changes I could have made. So I think I'm gonna play one match, and then I'm going to head off because I have to use the restroom pretty badly, but I don't want to take a break here and then have to edit it out. So we'll do 2 segments. We'll do one game here, and then or one match here, and then we'll play and then I'll record the next 2 probably tomorrow, and then I'll put them together in editing. Hopefully, I won't miss too much because I don't know my deck because I've forgotten and it's not in between. If you like this style or don't like the style, do let me know. I love feedback. I've gotten lots of feedback already, and I've tried to implement it. The most urgent one being don't swear my words so much because I talk too fast. All right, so I don't like this hand, but I'm on the play, and I've got a bunch of busted 5-drops, so I'm going to keep it. Simple as that. I don't know. I probably should have mulliganed. My opponent could easily just be playing aggro here, and I just lose horribly. I was getting greedy. My play has not been tight while I'm recording. My play is... I'll go a little bit off topic into a little bit of a rant here. My play is much tighter at like Pro Tours and Paper Magic because there's nothing else to distract me. I get bored when I play online, so I watch TV or whatever, and I just don't focus enough. I don't play enough. And then on stream, I have to focus on chat and other aspects of my stream to make sure everything's running properly, which distracts from my Magic. So I do not play. I mean, everyone wants to think this of themselves. Everyone wants to think that they're better than they play, but I think in particular I'm better in paper than I am online. But I hope you guys can still learn things in this video, and I hope I'm still playing relatively well. So, yeah, we draw a 6-drop. Luckily, they're not playing spells, but having blue mana is very scary, because if they can counter our Conjurer's Closet with a annulment, whatever the hell it's called, Steel Sabotage, or they can counter our 5-drops with the Metallic Rebuke, which would also be very annoying. Skip ahead a little bit here. They play, ooh, that's too much. God damn it, why does it go so fast and then so slow? So they play a land and tutor for a Sundered Titan. Very scary, and this is why in this matchup, I'm already thinking about it, and I'm not locked into it yet, but I want to board out one of my colors so the Sundered Titan doesn't fuck me up so bad. Because if it kills 3 of your lands, you're just fucking dead. You're just fucking dead. Like, you can't win. If it kills 2 of your lands, you can still cast spells, you can catch up, you can not kill it for a couple turns in the hopes that you can build up your lands and stabilize on board and kill it with an Naturals or whatever, but killing 3 of your lands is just rough. It's just rough. So I'm not sure what to do here because I'm very afraid of a counterspell. I think I end up going for just... I do the trick where I pass priority to try and bait out the counterspell, see if they're leaving mana, but it doesn't actually tell me much because they might want to stack the spell on that step. I end up going for the Thragtusk because it's the best card if it resolves. Like, if I resolve it, they can just let either of these resolve and then they're wasted, right? So I have to go for the Thragtusk. Maybe the Conjurer's Closet, but that is actually weaker to a lot of counterspells with Izzet Charm, which is an uncommon, so it might not be worth playing around, and Steel Sabotage. whereas Thragtusk only gets countered by Rebuke. It's countered by everything. So I think it's pretty easy Thragtusk. Also, I want to pressure them before they can get the Center Titan down. So I think Thragtusk is all around the best card to play there. And it does kind of suck if it gets countered, but if I get a Naturalist and a Conjurer's Closet down, suddenly I don't have to worry about this, the Center Titan. I can just blink my Naturalist every turn until they die, assuming they don't have any particularly big threats. So this is very scary. They go Cathartic Reunion, just cutting Clone Shell and Center Titan, and if they get it back here, I'm dead. So I'm very scared at this point. If they have Trash for Treasure, I just die. Dual Caster Mage is also very scary because now they're drawing 6 cards. Nice combo for my opponent, very sweet. I'm impressed, definitely impressed. And then I play Closet, so I do get Closet on attack Thragtusk value. I think I want to attack here since I'm mildly scared of them double blocking. Like, they can probably double block here, and they probably will. It's not a great trade in terms of equity, but assuming they have a way to get back the Center Titan, which, given they just drew 6 cards, I have to assume they have a way to get it back. I think I have to just Closet the Thragtusk. And not attack, I mean, not get greedy and attack. Because a Closeted Thragtusk can just beat a Center Titan just straight up, right? I mean, they cast Center Titan, we chomp it every turn until they deck themselves or whatever, and we gain 5 every turn as well. Since for those of you who don't know, Thragtusk is a 5-mana 3/3, 5/3, that ETB you gain 5 life, and whenever it leaves the battlefield, not dies, whenever it leaves the battlefield, you make a 3/3 token. So each turn right now, I'm gaining 5 life and making a 3/3, which is very, very powerful. So we do this, we gain some life, we make a beast, and we're just in great shape here. They need to both answer the Center Conjurer's Closet, which is hard. I guess they could have a Braid, which would be pretty rough, and then get back Center Titan. So they do. That's the first part. Let's see if they can answer the Conjurer's Closet. If they do, we're in a bit of an awkward spot, primarily because this island is really fucking us up. Because if we play it and the Center Titan leaves the battlefield, we lose 3 more lands, and then we just never cast spells for the rest of the game. It's a good draw. It's very, very helpful because now if they now we have lands to cast the Naturalist and just kill the Titan, and then hope our reward's enough, right? Because if we kill the Titan and we still have the Thragtusk, the Conjurer's Closet, and the Naturalist here, we're just in great shape. Like, if they don't play an artifact, we just make a 3/3 and gain 5 life. If they do, we can kill it if it's too scary. Unfortunately, they're tapping 2 mana here, very scary. Yep, they're going to Steel Sabotage to bounce my Conjurer's Closet, which I do not feel good about. Now they have a bunch of cards in hand which they can use to counter it. I don't get the Thragtusk value. The Center Titan's looking very scary. I do have the spawns to chump, but I also kind of need the spawns to cast my spells. So we're just in an awkward position here. I'm not sure if I play this game very well, but I remember it being a very, very sweet game. So stay tuned. Don't skip this one. I know it might take a while, but it's a very sweet game with a very, very... I don't know if it's satisfying, but it's a cool finish, I'll say at least. Well, not cool, whatever. Just watch it. It's a good game. You can skip the next 2 matches. I promise. I promise that those 2 aren't as much to watch for. But this is a very sweet match. My opponent's also playing a sweet deck. I want to draft this deck. It's just... Like, you have to open Center Titan in pack 1, and then force it, and then there's still no guarantee that you get the 1 common that you want, being Agravarian Restoration, right? I guess Trash Treasure also works, but it's just awkward. Like, I've drafted red decks where I just don't see the red commons, right? I see, like, one of the dragons and no gremlins and no vandals, right? So it happens, and that's when there's 3 commons you want, let alone when there's only 1 being the restoration. I tend to just take 7 here because I'm on a lot of life, and I might need the beast or whatever to double walk or pressure him, and I might need the spawns to chump here. So I think it's a solid play. Yeah, I'm very scared of another Steel Sabotage or a counter unless you pay 3. That's kind of a nice draw because it can get me more mana. I think I end up being a little greedy here and going for the Closet, which I'm not sure is correct. Because if they have a counterspell, I just lose if they go for the Closet. I mean, I'll completely lose, but it's not great for us. I end up going for it because I feel like I'm too far behind, but am I really that far behind? I can just play the Whisper, leave up Clear Shot, take another 7, or chump it. I can Clear Shot something, I can make some good attacks here, I can like attack with a Beast if they block me, I can Clear Shot to kill both. It's a little awkward that they have a Spell Bomb, but they can't do too much with it. It seems like they don't have that much going on in their turn. And this might have just been a little greedy. I could have waited until I could have at least... I mean, I could never beat the Steel Sabotage, but I could have at least played on Rebuke slash any other counter spells that make me pay mana. Like, right now, I think I just don't need to go for this, which I do get punished. I get punished by Izzet Charm, which I was talking about earlier. It is an uncommon, but it's certainly a good card. It's also a card to be wary of, because my opponent will happily play it, because it loots as well. So if they're playing a Restoration deck, it does loot pretty well. I end up going for attack here, because I feel like I might be able to race the Titan if they don't have too much. And now that my Conjurer's Closet gone, I can safely attack with a Thragtusk, because I don't give a shit if they double block it. So this is a good attack. I guess that was the upside to this line, is if I play it pre-combat, and then I know if they counter it or not, and then if they counter it, then I don't need the Thragtusk to be in play anymore, and I can just try and tempo them out. So that actually worked out okay. I still love the line, though. Yeah, just an awkward hand. I'm looking at my sideboard to think what I'm going to do, because I know my opponent's deck is very annoying. Although, I should stop doing that, because it's very obnoxious in in rewatching the video. Alright, so you can miss that, but on my opponent Lightning next, my Thragtusk is discarding a Fairy Mechanist, which is obnoxious, because it very severely shortens the pressure that I have on them. But it is a good card advantage for me, so I'm okay with it. Now they get to double walk without taking too much damage, so we're actually not looking great here. And now I kind of wish I kept that 3/3, so I could like try and gang walk this Thunder Titan. I might use a Naturalist it and just lose a bunch of my own lands, which is really fucking bad. Losing all your lands there is just so bad. You need to hope that your opponent has nothing like for until you draw more lands, which is kind of greedy. I don't think I can chump here, but chumping's fine, to be honest. I can just play the Whisperer next turn, but I don't know. It's really tough. Yeah. Just a tough spot to be in. A land would be an amazing draw here, so I can play Naturalists and then keep the Eldraw spawn, and also, excuse me, and also have 2 lands in play for the future to cast the Whisperer or whatever. Although they can just Pirate Spell on the Whisperer, so I kind of want to hold the Whisperer. I guess that was my issue with my line last turn with playing the Whisperers. They could just kill it, and they do know we're stuck on mana because they Southern Titaned us, so we missed a bunch of land drops, so that's fairly obvious. So I guess the Conjurer's Clause just running out there was fine. Very tough turn, a very tough game. I think I played it okay so far, and it's been very interesting. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. I'm getting bored. Actually, no, my opponent's about to play a spell. Alright, what are they playing? Nope. Alright, I'm going to skip ahead. Alright, so they played Cloudrider Sphinx. I didn't see how they scried because I was lazy and I didn't give a shit. I think I just go for Double Whisper here. And then I guess I chump the Sundering Titan. It's awkward because they can kill one of these Whisperers. If they kill a second one, then I jump with the spawn, and I no longer get to Naturalist them. I can try and race. I can attack with the clear shots. Attack with these 2, and if they clear shot me, if they block with the Sphinx, I can clear shot the Treasure Mage and kill them both. The issue with this line that I go for, I'm a little hasty on this line, assuming that it's enough to tower pressure them, but the issue is I'm dead in 2 turns to the Thunder Titan, and I'm running out of chumpers quick, like really quick. So they block here, I can clear shot the 2/2 and try and eat their guy, they can kill it with a Spell Bomb, and then I guess I chump, and I play Double Whisper, and it's okay here, but after they've scryed 2, they probably hit something good. I should have really checked here, but I didn't, and they could do some good things, so... Yeah, this line just doesn't seem great to me. I think I might have been a little too hasty. But the Sphinx, I mean, killing the Sphinx is important, though, don't get me wrong, because if I don't, I'll just die to it. And now I have to sack the spawn to pay for it and take another 7 here, which is really not good. Yeah. I take 7, go to 7, I play Double Whispers to chump, and I'm just not in great shape here. I'm dead to a lot of things, which is not where you want to be. But we are alive. We're doing okay. We might be able to race the Titan if they, don't play anything. We just attack with these beasts and make some 2 chumpers, although the Spell Bomb is getting to be a little frustrating that they haven't played. But earlier I could just cast a Naturalist and hope it gets me there. And hope I draw some lands before, or kill them before they did. Unfortunately, now they have Automaton, which means that they can, and now a Peace Strider too. So we're really just not in great shape here. So I take 7, we go to 7. We'll see what we draw, but probably have to go for Double Whispers here. But the issue with Double Whispers is we're just in such bad shape. I think if I go land, I think I just have to go Naturalist here. I don't want to, but I think I just have to go Naturalist. We'll see what I do. I might go for the Whispers. The issue with the Whispers line is that I just end up chumping infinitely. Like, I trade off for the Peace Strider. Yeah. I think this line is really bad. I'm going to explain why for a little bit. So I think the reason this line was bad is because I know my opponent has the 5/7, the Accomplished Automaton in hand. So they attack with everyone. Our trades are horrible. And this play is kind of reliant on my opponent not having to play here. And me being able to stabilize next turn. But, what does this really accomplish other than buying me a turn? It doesn't really accomplish much. I need to get the 7 Titan on the door, off the board. I have to keep chumping it. So, and if I play the Naturalists, I don't want to chump with these 0/2s because they're going to kill a bunch of my lands after I Naturalist their Thunder Titan. So this play was just bad. So do not make plays like this in the future. But, again, I was playing too fast. Probably watching TV if I was being completely honest. What are you going to do? As long as I notice them in the future and explain to you guys why they were wrong, so that hopefully you cannot make the same mistakes I did. So yeah, now what the fuck am I doing here? I guess I block and chump with the Whisper in this, and then I keep the land. Why am I keeping the Whisper? Yeah, I mean the 3/3s I like is a little better because then I can eat the Treasure Mage or try to double walk the 5/7 if they keep it as a 5/7, no put a counter on it. And now I'm just still forced to not Natural Sun Titan, except now I'm just down a couple cards and I just gave him a free Automaton play. So that play was just awful. And now I'm locked into it, and it's just a bad play. I have to kill the Automaton because otherwise they kill all my lands. Then I chump the Sundering Titan. I have to hope to top another Naturalist maybe. I think that's my only out at this point. I'm just not in good shape here. I think I'd be in a lot better shape if I'd killed the Sundering Titan last turn. Then they can play the Naturalist. I can threaten to double walk it because I have a bunch of power. I'd have 2 3/3s in the 4/4. They would have the Peace Strider, but the Peace Strider would get blanked by the 4/4. And the blocks are awkward for that. I can just hope to draw some more lands and then use the Whispers to accelerate my mana. I would be cut off red, which would be a little annoying, but I have Dragons to draw if I draw a single red, and then the Dragons can cast the Flame Fiend and sack. I'm getting a little too into depth, but I think I already explained why it was a bad play that I made. So I'll stop talking about it. Alright, and now I can skip ahead a little bit. Long match. Already been recording for 34 minutes. Wow. Wowza. Alright, so oh shit, I missed it. What happened? Wait. Shit, I missed it. Shit. Okay, so they play another Automaton, they make it big, I top deck Naturalists. Yeah, this sucks. I don't know why I skipped ahead so much. I'm out of it. Just ignore me. Alright, so they play another Automaton here, which is very annoying for us. Or more importantly, or more accurately, they Aggravate Respiration it back. Got more big stuff. I draw Naturalist. This is my only out at this point, and I have to kill the Sundering Titan. I think about it a little bit, and I want to kill the Automaton to keep my lands, but if I do, I just have to keep chopping the Sundering Titan. This way, at least I can threaten to walk the Automaton if they have nothing, and hope I just draw out of it somehow. Like, this is just a complete long shot. They can go wide at this point. They can draw anything to interact with the board. They can draw a flyer. We can We can not draw lands. There's just so many ways for this to go wrong, but I think I'm locked into this play at this point. If I don't kill the Thunder Titan, I'm just 100% dead. I have no way to answer it in the future. At least the 6/8 I can threaten to double walk like I talked about. Actually, interestingly, I think I would have lost. I think I maintained that it was correct to Naturalist the Thunder Titan earlier, but I think I would have lost because then they would have Restoration the Thunder Titan instead of the Automaton, and I would just have no lands in play. So, interesting. It worked out for me. I maintained that the play was incorrect, though. But as long as it works, I guess. Good to think about these things. So yeah, we're just playing the Drago game. They can't attack currently. We can't attack. We can't cast spells currently, even though we've got plenty of them in hand. I'm gonna need to get pretty lucky to win this game. We'll see how it goes though. Skip ahead a little bit. They just keep drawing lands and passing. We keep drawing spells and passing. And we're also getting close to decking them. I think our out is probably decking them at this point. They just keep playing lands, and I'm like, wow, how the fuck am I still alive? I remember we played this game like, what? How am I alive still? Go to our turn. If we draw a land, we can go Empath, which is at least a 1/1 to chump, which is nice. If we draw Mountain, the Thorn Green's actually great. As much shit as I talked about it earlier, it would just be amazing here. I can get rid of 2 of these 6-drops and draw into a bunch more lands, which would be amazing. Let's see what we draw. Another spell. Yeah, and I'm just like, at this point, at some point my luck has to run out. My opponent has to start playing spells, and I lose. And I'm not feeling good here still, but yeah, what am I going to do? I don't know why I'm taking so long, given I have no decisions to make. All right. God damn it. Every time I skip ahead, I miss something. It's fine. I keep asking for feedback, but I do really appreciate it. So if the skipping's too much, let me know if you don't like the skipping. All right, so they play the Gleaming Barrier, not relevant. We finally draw land. I think I play the Reunion here. I keep the Empath because I want one to actually be relevant, where the Flame Beans are just dead. But actually, no, getting rid of the Empath is fine, because I think the Flame Bean might be worth it in case they play another Flyer. I think it's the only removal spot left, so it is relevant there. Draw a land and some acceleration, which is a little awkward since actually we have 4 mana, and we play the Awakening Zone, we can't do anything else. Play the Gleaming Barrier, we can't do anything else. I need to blank another turn for me to stabilize, kind of-ish. I guess I can play the Barrier to chump the 6/8 and then use the 4/4s to block if they try and go wide on the ground. So, actually in good shape here. I don't know what the hell happened, but we're in okay shape. Maybe they just really avoided flooding early, and then now they flooded. Great draw. That makes chumpers and mana acceleration for the Mimic, although we need to play the Dragon first since both of our islands are gone. I think we only played 2 islands. Actually, maybe something I talk about more on the videos is how I build my mana base, because I think I just skimmed over that because I assumed it was fairly obvious. More mana for them. Not scary at all. We're going to win this game. Looking like we're going to win this game, which is just absolutely absurd. Yeah, play Dragon. Next turn we got the Flame Fiend or the Mimic up, and the game's just over. They're at 5 cards. I mean, yeah, I don't know what happened this game, but they drew poorly, / we're out of gas, and we're going to win the game. So that's just amazing. Like I said, a very sweet game. Not really sure how I won, but I will certainly take it. I'm not going to skip ahead here since it looks like things are going pretty fast. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to play one of these busted cards here. I'd probably play Mimic, copy the Naturalist, since I don't really see how they come back from that. Most likely all their threats are artifacts, if they even have one left in their deck. But it just doesn't matter at this point. Yeah, I'll just Mimic the Naturalist, sure, why not? I probably could have thought about it a little more and thought about like what punished me at this point, but there's really nothing, because I don't even have an island in play, so even if they have Inkwell Leviathan, which if they did, I think they would have tutored for it earlier with their second Trench Mage, but even if they do, we don't have an island, so as long as we make enough Grand Creatures to Ganglock it, we'll be fine. At this point, we could attack. I'm not really sure why I attack. I guess I could be scared of burn since I'm at 7, like 2 Galblasts and Metalcraft or something weird, but I feel like it might have been safer to deck them. They could like interact with the board somehow and attack us with the Treasure Mage and then burn us out. I mean, the attack's probably fine. The other bad thing about this attack is it lets them jump with the barriers if they have a black card in hand. They did have to destroy their own swamp earlier, off from their Thunder Titan trigger, since I didn't have any swamps. This might give them black mana to cast whatever black spell they have. So I think this actually was a mistake because of that. I should have waited a little bit longer until I was further out on board. But I doubt it punishes me. There's really not much they can punish me. They can Toxic Deluge us maybe, and then that actually would be kind of rough. So, and then they can play a bunch of threats. So yeah, maybe this wasn't the right line. Okay, we end up winning. Amazing. I really have to use the restroom. I don't want to edit though. Yeah, I don't want to edit. Fuck it. They definitely want like a minute of downtime while I'm peeing. So I'll just pause the video after this and then I'll go pee. Anyway, so we voted in the mysteries here. I think a lot. I think that this is the matchup where I can tell you guaranteedly I do end up bringing in the blue cards and cutting the red cards because they're so bad against Thunder Titan. And I'm very glad I do it. I get paid off. It's great. You play the Embrace on the Thunder Titan. It's just instantly game winning. And we have a bunch of ramp for it with the Predators. It's a little bit awkward with the Dragons, so I do want to keep the Dragons in still, but I think I just have to play it safe and cut all my red cards. I can bring the Starns, I can bring the Invigorate, I can bring the blue cards, and it's just the Steel Tab Dodge is also very good against them. Not great against Aggravating Restoration, but can also block. It can also bounce the as long as the card that they bring back that they reanimate isn't Sunrise Titan, it can bounce it. Think about it a little more. Do I end up not cutting these red cards? That's really loose. Okay, shit. All right, well, I guess not. Not sure what happens. All right, so I end up not cutting these red cards. I'm really not sure why. I guess I wanted to have my mana be less greedy so that once they destroyed my mountains, I can. Since last game they destroyed my mountains and I couldn't play the Flame Fiend. And I brought in the Aberration, and I got the Aberration too to get off the Empath. Yeah, this just seems like a half measure that seems horrible. I cut the Tumble Magnet because the Flame Beans were no longer good. I brought in the Uval Mysteries as the game seems like it's going long. I'm making Chumper seems really good for their big artifacts. They're bringing the Embrace because it's great with the dragon. But I think I was tunnel visioning and saying, oh, I want the Embrace. How do I cast the Embrace? Because my mana's bad. I need the dragon to make double blue. Okay, well I guess you have to keep the dragon. But in reality, I could just cut the dragons and all the red cards, and then the mana would be okay at least, or not great, but at least okay for the Embrace. So whatever, I won't talk about it too more. I think the boarding was fine. The Invigorate's fine because it's just a magic card. I would have liked to feel like, since I'm already bringing the Embrace, I think my plan here was to leave in the number of islands and only cast the Embrace off the Rapacious Dragon, which is just a bad plan. And if I get the blue, I get to bring in these other cards, primarily Sift and Steel Sabotage, which are also just great in the matchup. So definitely an oversight for me. I think I might do it in I'll definitely do it in Game 3 if we get to Game 3. I change my mana a little bit and go like 4/4 mid range. Yeah, it's just a half measure. Just a very half measure. It gets even more punished by Thunder Titans. Somehow I made it even more likely I get punished by Thunder Titans. In the previous deck, at least I only had 2 islands. I could just not draw one, and then he doesn't get to blow up 3 lands. But now it's even more likely I have 3 lands that he will see to blow up. This is just a horrible half measure. Not played this match great so far, but yeah, what are you gonna do? And the dog's crawling around on my bed. She's so cute. I can't wait to go hang out with him. Play some Fall Guys later. My friend Logan's gonna be sweet. I think this will probably come out before Saturday. So if you are interested in playing some Fall Guys with me, come check out my stream on Saturday. Link will be in the description of the YouTube video. Follow me, and you should get an alert. Make sure you turn the alerts on. And yeah, I mean, I don't know how to coordinate it, but we'll figure it out. I'll get in a Discord call and play some Fall Guys together if you're interested. I think in the future I might start doing like a Saturday. I didn't talk too much about why we kept this hand, but I think it was pretty easy to keep. We had lands and spells. I'm gonna start doing like a Saturday. How do I describe it? Saturday variety stream where I play different games other than Magic. But don't worry, if you're still interested in watching Magic and watching me explain my thought process, I will do that on Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. This is a good time. I guess plug my Twitch. I already did plug my Twitch a little bit. Also, my Twitter handle should be, or Twitter link should be in the description as well. So go check that out. And don't forget to subscribe on YouTube as well if you like these videos and you want to see more. And click the bell so you get notified. So my opponent plays a Sorcerer's Apprentice or Apprentice Wizard into a Sphinx. Very scary, very good start for my opponent. Can't kill the Apprentice Wizard with a clear shot, even though I really fucking want to because I'm so scared whatever this will do. Next turn they have 7 mana, so I would turn away from Thunder Titan. So next turn, even though I really want to play Thragtusk, I might have to just clear shot this Wizard to make sure I don't get Thunder Titaned. Because they Thunder Titan me next turn, I'm just super dead. I'm already not feeling great, but saving out Thunder Titan is really important because then I can try and get the Thragtusk loose assembled before they play Thunder Titan. Whereas if I just play the Thragtusk and then they Thunder Titan me, I lose 2 lands and then I'm a while away from the closet, which is not great. The Mysteries plus Barrier is actually pretty solid. I can chump a big guy if they play it and then make a token and a clue or whatever. Yeah, the current is just so awkward now with even less red sources. Yeah, this is just a poor sideboard. So yeah, now I just have to kill the Apprentice Wizards. They're guaranteed to have Thunder Titan. So they get Thunder Titan. I guess I should make sure, but I'm pretty sure. Or they get Automaton, which means they have Thunder Titan in hand. There's no way they wouldn't get Thunder Titan here. I guess they could be missing a land drop and want to guarantee I have a spell to cast next turn, but I feel like this means they have Thunder Titan in hand. So I think I have to clear out the Apprentice Wizard. It at least buys me a turn, right? Because next turn they play a land, and then turn afterwards they can play another land, and then they Thunder Titan. I think I end up going. Yeah, and I can't. This is exactly what I'm talking about. I just can't play Cathartic here. I need to clear shot to kill a wizard. I can discard one of these lands, and I need both of these. Right? And it's just a fucking awkward card. It's just such an awkward card. I end up going for the clear shot first. I think I end up, in addition to that, it's also horrible against counter magic. And I can't play it while also playing around, also playing around the counter unless you pay 2. Izzet Charm. But unfortunately, Izzet Charm can actually loot away the Thunder Titan, and then they can get it back next turn, which actually means if I'm not going to play the Reunion here, I should have also not played the Mountain, because now Thunder Titan fucks me even harder. So, more mistakes, but I'm talking about them. Hopefully you guys are learning from them. I'm learning from them. Everyone's learning. That's the goal of this channel. Which actually, the fact that they could have Izzet Charm to loot it away makes me more likely to just want to play Thragtusk here, but I think I do need to go for the clear shot. And then just not play the Reunion, and hope to God that they don't have a way to play Thunder Titan, put Thunder Titan and play this turn. Yep, they loot end step with the Izzet Charm, so I would have gotten pretty fucked with the Cathartic Reunion too, because like if they counter this, I have 1 card left. I'm just gonna and they discard the Thunder Titan like I predicted. They had it in hand. They get it back here, we're dead. I could have been a lot less dead if I didn't play this Mountain. So like I said, punt for me. What are you gonna do? It was in the past. We'll see if we get punished for it. I mean, it's not the worst because we can chump with the Gleaming Barrier, make a token, draw. We can make a token off the Mysteries and then draw a card. Yeah, I mean he has it too. So we just got mega punished here. An extra 1 land would make a world of difference here. We could cast the Reunion. We could play the Mountain here and cast the Reunion. We would be a turn away from use the Treasure to cast a 5-drop. I mean, it's still okay shape because we can chump with the Bear and then chump with the Human, and then after that we can play Thragtusk. But it's not great. Not great at all. Yeah, like what do I do here? So I'll block with the Barrier, I'll make a Treasure, I'll make a 1/1 and draw card, I can play the Thragtusk, and then hopefully I can blink it next turn. But this is just so weak to like Izzet Charm to counteract the Conjurer's Claws that I'm just super dead. So I'm not feeling good about this game. But yeah, it would have been a lot better. Just one land would have gone a long way. Would have mean I could keep my treasure for the future and still play the stuff. I mean, he's not biting me too hard, but it's definitely relevant. Probably could have waited till his end step instead of his second main phase, but it's fine. Auto yield to these. And Predators are actually a great draw because we can use that to chump the Titan more. Unfortunately, I'm a little scared of the Gladiator Sphinx. I think I have to play the first one here just to make some for extra chompers, but it's possible I'm just supposed to go for this Conjurer's Claws Thragtusk plan as soon as possible so that the Sphinx doesn't just kill me. I think the first Predator is fine though, because then we can play Thragtusk next turn, and then turn afterwards we can go Conjurer's Closet, and this guarantees it. Because this way, if we play Thragtusk, we don't draw a land. It's kind of awkward. Yeah, so I like the Predator here, but it's close. We'll see. I play the Predator. I think about it a lot more. I don't really know how else to explain it, but I think the Predator is a little better here. Pass. They attack with everyone. We definitely chump with probably a human soldier. We could also... Yeah, I don't know why I didn't chump with a human here. I'm thinking about chumping with 0-1 for some reason. It's definitely a human. Definitely a human. Could also chump with the Predator himself and make another clue, but I can do that next turn. And I don't think the clue is important here because I'm casting one of my 5-drop next turn. One of my 5 drops next turn, so I don't have mana to sack the clue unless I'm sacking spawns, in which case, what's the point? I can just chump with the spawns. I'm mostly worried about this Gladiator Sphinx killing us here, to be honest. Okay, so they pass here. I think I have to just go for a Thragtusk. I sack the spawn to the treasure because the treasure makes red mana. But maybe the spawn was a little better. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's really awkward not to run lands here because the spawns are important for trumping the Thunder Titan. Like, I'm kind of running out of chumps for the Thunder Titan at this point. And the issue is that I need to get this Conjurer's Closet down at some point, or I will just lose to, like... Excuse me. I will just lose to, like, to just the Sphinx attacking me. I definitely need to take a break after this. I think I'm gonna split the recording up into 2 videos. So we'll finish up this match, and then I'll pause, and then I'll record the rest later. Hopefully you guys enjoy that too. All right, so they attack with both. What do they do here? They Fargo Fight with Thragtusk, which is totally fine because we can still blink it next turn or whenever we try to blink it. Although, yeah, playing this is just so risky because they've shown us so many counters for it. Izzet Charm? They steal Sabotage, and well, they could have Rebuke, but they haven't shown us to it yet. So we're gonna go Predator on the 7/8 instead of the spawn because we get to make a clue, which could be nice for next turn. We can go like sack a clue plus Predator. The issue with that being that then we don't get the claws down. In the meantime, the Sphinx is just smacking us up. But I think I like this line. I think next turn I definitely should do that because we've got enough life to play with, right? Because we can go Predator next turn, take another 3 off the Sphinx, go to 5, and then we have 2 turns to deploy both the Mimic and the Conjurer's Closet, both of which will save us from the Mimic if they work, or both of which will save us from the Sphinx if they work. So I like this block here, and then go Predator plus sack clue next turn. I'm not sure that's playing. I think I'm actually making a mistake and don't do that, but I'm just gonna pay a little bit. All right, so we did make that play. We made the clue. We drew a land. So here we can go. I think we should just go Mimic plus clue, but I think I actually end up going for the Mimic, which is just greedy because they also should have Lightning Axe game 1, which would mega punish us for playing the Mimic here. Just like super punish because then we have to chump with the. Especially if we sack the spawns to the treasures, that would just be horrible. Now that's actual worst case. Okay, Max, don't do this. Do not sack the spawn to play Mimic. Then they love at or fire axe this. We have to chump with the Thragtusk. We don't get to Conjurer's Closet anymore. It does not go well. All right, I sack the treasures. That's good at least. Copy the Sphinx. Bottom these both. They don't really do anything. The Awakening Zone's too slow, and I don't think I want to land at this point. Maybe if there's a mountain, I would keep it because it can play a dragon later, but and play the reunion now. But all right, well, I maintained the correct line was Predator to make sure I have enough chumpers, and then the Cracker Clue to buy some time, and then I can play both these threats in 2 turns, both of which will win me the game if not interrupted. But I didn't do that. Okay, yeah, they do the Lightning Axe to punish us, kill our Mimic, and we're just in horrible shape here. Oh, because, yeah, okay, here's the issue with this line. Even though I didn't sack the spawn, now we can get into the Treasure Mage, which makes it a 1-turn clock if I... Yeah, so this was the issue. This is why I should have played Predator, because Predator means he can't attack with Treasure Mage this turn. Also, what was the point of blocking with a 3/3 there? I could have just kept the 3/3. What was the point of blocking with it if I was going to not crack the clue? Yeah, so this is just a poor play for me again, and I'm getting punished for it here, so I might actually lose the game because of it. Hopefully we don't lose the match, but that's for me to know and for you to find out, I guess. We'll see. Regardless, a very sweet match. Sweet deck from my opponent, solid deck from us, and a good lesson. I guess I kept this Awakenings on top. I have no fucking clue why, but I kept it on top to like jump this thing indefinitely. That seems super loose. All right, well, we'll see if we're dead or not. And then the issue here, and here's another issue. So yeah, they did all this. Great, we looked at the Thragtusk. We win, right? No, we don't, because we don't make the beast because it has no text on it. And we still have to chump the Titan, and then we're still dead. So yeah, this line was just absolute dog shit. Like complete and utter dog shit. I cannot express enough how much of dog shit this line was. Yeah, I played the Predator. I'm just in good shape. I think I can win this game. So, my fault. I mean, to be fair, it's a somewhat hard line to spot. Not really. I spotted it pretty quick in the editing booth / recording booth. Yeah, so we lose here. Which is no outs. Like, we don't have any board ups, no red mana. Yeah, they tackled everyone, and they weren't 3 for the Sphinx because the Treasure Mage keeps hitting us. Yeah, it's just a horrible play. I think my other option, if I wanted to do that, was I should have as a little while back. I don't know if you remember or not, but I could sack the spawn instead of the 3/3. And then the turn afterwards, I have the Thragtusk and the 3/3, so they don't want to attack with the Treasure Mage because I can eat it, and then chump the Sundering Titan. And even though I don't want to chump the Sundering Titan with the Frogify Thragtusk, they don't know that I don't want to do that because they don't know I have Claws in hand. So that also would have been a passable line, but. Alright, and now I figure out to cut the goddamn red cards. I'm sick of getting my lands blown up, and it just seems like a nice clean deck. I think I have to bring in the Brainstorm because I don't want too many, because I need it for spells, and way too many lands. I cut 2 lands here, and then we chip it, I think. But we'll see. And hopefully, on the play, with a nice cleaner deck and getting punished less by Sundering Titan, we will be able to win. We will see, though. Yeah, Yavimai's Embrace is just insane in this matchup. And I can cast it now because I'm just playing 2 colors. Yeah, I did not play this match particularly well, with sideboarding and in-game play, but learning experience, great hand. Awakening Zone into turn 4 Naturalist, Ancient Stones hit land / Conjurer's Closet. Aberration could be a land or a spell, so just a nice solid hand we're on the play. And this Awakening Zone can hopefully get around the Sundering Titan as well, or chump it. Yeah, so Awakening is just a hard counter for Sundering Titan. Just an amazing card in this matchup, I think. Having it on turn 3 is nice. Hopefully they won't counter it. Unfortunately, I have to bottom a Progenitor Mimic and a Thragtusk and an Empath here, which is really unfortunate, which actually makes me want to shuffle away with the Aberration if possible. But unfortunately, I want to turn the Aberration into a spell. I think I actually might next turn just shuffle the Aberration just because all of our good cards are at the bottom now, which is really bad. Alright, well now I have to play the Whisper. But in the future, I might want Aberration because of that. I could also try and pressure them with the Aberration. So we'll see. That's what I do. Okay, so I play this. They Brainstorm End Step. Take a while to figure it out. They play Chromatic Star, turn it into a red. Play Spell Bomb. And then we'll see what they do. Oh, sorry, I skipped ahead too much. Well, alright, well, I drew Atlanta played Awakening Zone, and then they played the Spell Bomb with the Czar, and then they popped it to look for gas, and now we're seeing what they do. Killing the Whisperer makes sense. Unfortunately, the Naturalist is bad here. I don't think I'm going to run it out as a 4/4 because it's just so good in the matchup. And I guess I'll just pass here then, as bad as it feels. I'll always give this an always yield, always yes. And see what we draw. Conjurer's Closet. I kind of want to run that out, but then it gets countered really easily. I think I ended up jamming the Naturals here, but in retrospect, I don't think it's worth it. Even with the Closet, I still don't think it's worth it. We could just save up the spawns. They can chump well. We could save the Naturals for value. We don't have to play. I mean, they could have Izzet Charm, and then they could technically they can go Izzet Charm, discard the Sundering Titan, and reanimate next turn, and we lose 2 lands, but we Naturals sit, and we only have 1 land left, but we keep making spawns. They have nothing on board. They have to kill their own mountain. But I like the pass here. I think it's smart. And we can also, if they play Sundering Titan, if they get Sundering Titan back, if they loot it away and then get it back, we can Aberration here to look for another land before all our lands get blown up. And then we got 2 spawns. Yeah, we're just in okay shape then. So I like this line. Okay, they discard. They don't actually have it. They discard Apprentice Wizard and Gleaming Bearer, which is a bit weird. Discarding the Bearer, the Apprentice Wizard. I'm taking that to mean that they don't actually have any artifacts in hand, which is something we can capitalize on. They go Scepter. Now I'm glad I saved the Naturalist because I'm also glad I didn't play the Closet next turn because if I played the Closet, I would have gotten fucked by the Izzet Charm. So I guess I didn't actually play that manually. The reason I didn't just play Closet next last turn because even though it didn't get value was because it got countered by Izzet Charm, which they've shown us 2 of, and Steel Sabotage as well. So I want to save it for later once it doesn't get fucked by that. So yep, we do this. The Izzet Charm again. Now I know there's no Izzet Charms left, or at least unless they have 3 in their deck, which seems unlikely at this point. So I can actually start jamming the Closet out pretty freely, especially if they don't have a blue mana up. If they do have blue mana up, I'm a little scared of Steel Sabotage, but this game's looking good. Like if I get the Closet Naturals pair in play and they don't have a way to kill the Naturals, the game's just over. All their threats are artifacts and the game's just over. Closet is really nice in this matchup. If I can get it in play. So feeling good about this game. They go Treasure Mage. Very scared of Steel Sabotage, but I'll probably just jam the Closet here. Actually, I'll probably just jam the Aberration. I don't like giving them more time to draw the Steel Sabotage, but I get punched pretty hard here. I'm not going to try and tempo them out, even if I just go for the Aberration, I can just tempo them out, even if they are able to counter my Conjurer's Closet. Where if I do I'm speaking too fast. Actually, I am speaking too fast, but I'm getting better at it, so that's good. Whereas if I Aberration here, if I Closet here, and then they counter it, I'm actually not great shape, because they can play a spell and then be ahead on tempo. Whereas if I Aberration, and then Conjurer's Closet, and they counter it, I'm at least doing okay on tempo and getting 4 more damage. I hope that makes sense. And I've also got a bunch of chumpers. So I'm feeling very good at this game. I think the only way I lose is if they, somehow stabilize on board and counter my, and both do stabilize on board and counter my Conjurer's Closet, and then also, we flood out, and they have a Sundering Titan in play, and we somehow cannot value them. But even then, we've got the spawns to chump their big guys indefinitely. So we're just in great shape here. I think this game's just over. And they play this in pass. We'll probably attack with both because we know they're only big creatures or artifacts. And then if they chump and turn up a big artifact, we can just kill up with the Closet, blinking the Naturalist, and the game's just over here. Skip ahead a little bit. Yeah. So we'll probably attack with everyone. We'll see. Not sure I'm taking so long. So I just... Oh. Did I not attack? Oh, I didn't attack with the Naturalist because I didn't want to risk them double walking. Okay, that was very smart on my part. I thought they were going to jump there, but they didn't. The fact that they didn't jump means there's probably nothing under it, so I'll just blink the Naturalist and kill it. Seems reasonable. I feel like if they had something under it, they would have felt far enough behind that they would have jumped with it. So I'm not too scared here. Just gonna fire off the kill on the Clone Shell for value. And then this game just feels over. They tapped out. Like they can bounce the Conjurer's Closet, but They only showed us one Steel Sabotage, and both their exit charms are gone. So yeah, see, they didn't have a creature there, which I guess you could think is just me doing tech magic, and because I already know what happened. But I honestly didn't remember. I honestly did not remember there was nothing under there. I was just making an educated guess based on what I'd seen. I recorded this gameplay like 4 or 5 days ago, before I finally got around to recording. I also record like for each video I record like a lot of gameplay, and not specifically for the purpose of recording. I record all my gameplay and I go through all of it and try and pick the best stuff out, most educational and the most sweet for you guys. Alright, so this game's looking to be over. We are floating pretty hard, but like whatever. They can't play artifacts, so we've got a nice board. Now we've got a Predator, we can make just infinite spawns to chump them. I guess we could die to a flyer, but we're at 20 life and we've got a bunch of good outs in our deck. So I'm feeling great about this game. I'm not seeing us lose anytime soon. It's a little risky to attack with this. They could like, both their exit charms are on, but they could have braided, I guess. But at that point, they could just braid the closet too. And by braid, I mean they could block with the present range and then a braid. So I think the deck's fine. Lightning Axe kills it regardless. Looks like they actually do have the Lightning Axe. Oh, License. Okay, interesting. I guess that's what their Black Splash was for. Still feeling great. We can make infinite Predator tokens. We're ahead on board. The Sphinx can't really race us because we have the Aberration. If they play the Thunder Titan, we have infinite chump blockers and a bunch of lands in play. So just feeling great about this game. Not seeing us losing anytime soon. We'll see what they do. Clone Shell again. We already know that the Thunder Titan's in their hand, so the worst thing that they get, assuming that they're only playing the Thunder Titan, is the 5/7. And I don't see them playing anything else too nasty, so still feeling good here. I could flood out and lose. Maybe Brainstorm's actually a great draw because it just means I get to. Yeah, it's not a great, but it's okay. And we'd rather Embrace and the game's over. I think I'll just Embrace Steal the Clone Shell here just because I read it, made sure if the Clone Shell dies, I do get the card under it as long as I control the creature. They haven't turned us away to kill the Embrace. We've got plenty of mana, so I'm not worried about a counterspell here. We can even Conjurer's Closet because Conjurer's Closet says blink it and then return to the battlefield under your control, even if you don't own it. So I could even blink the Clone Shell if I want to. Although the Alchemized Embrace would fall off, but I would still have to keep the Clone Shell. So the game's just over. I guess I'll play the Predator too, just to put infinite pressure on him. And then I guess I could lose to like a Toxic Deluge, I guess, arguably, but I'm not gonna play around that at this point. I've already seen the Black Splash, doesn't seem like that. But I also saw almost their whole deck game on. So just gonna go over the kill here, see if I can get it out. Yeah, with like this, make some more tokens. Like I said, I could have won Clone Shell because I would have capped it. If you guys really want to figure out why, you can look up what both of the cards say and figure out why I would keep the Clone Shell, even though the Alchemized Embrace would fall off. Or you can just trust me. Anyways, it doesn't matter, they're dead. Okay, and that's the match. All right, that is going to be it for me. Do not forget to subscribe on YouTube. I will be back with the second 2 matches, and I will record those tomorrow and edit it in to hopefully look somewhat nice. I will see you guys for match 2. All right, I am back with the next 2 games or matches that I'm going to record. It's a day later after I recorded the first batch of video. I'm actually going to move my camera a little bit. I forgot I needed to do that. Hold on one sec. Let's get that set up all nice so you guys can see my face. And we're about to get match 2. We just won an insane game 1, in case you forgot, which I kind of have, so I'm actually kind of more reminding myself than reminding you, but in case you did, in case you took a break in between the matches, which I recommend you do. It is a lot of content to watch all at once, but if you're enjoying it, I mean, you do you, obviously. Very insane game, match 1, where I somehow beat my opponent who cast Sundering Titan before turn 8, like every game. Sideboarded a little bit mediocrely, and my deck is still constructed poorly. I maintain that I should have made deck blue and not red, just because our naturalists are so insane, and we don't need this many 5-drops to actually win the game, and the Flame Fiends are just kind of awkward. But we'll see if it works. I had to keep this hand with 2 lands, because I felt if I draw another land by turn 3, which I have 3 draws towards, then I can play Awakening Zone, and, or maybe it's only 2. No, that's 3 draws. I have 3 draws, right? I was on the right. Yeah, I have 3 draws towards an Awakening Zone, and then once I play the Awakening Zone, if I miss land the turn after the Awakening Zone, it's obnoxious, but it means I can still cast a 5-drop the turn afterwards, and since that 5-drop can be Conclave Naturalists, I feel like I'm in an okay spot. I might have been a little greedy, but I think it's a fine keep with a clear shot and everything. I'm not drawing very well, getting very punished. Like, if all these red cards were just like a sift, like if I just had a sift instead of any of these red cards, I would just be in great shape. But that is a little bit of a small sample size bias, so there's not really a point in going into that. I do maintain, though. I'll stop talking about it, but definitely think, I think about my deck construction a ton. I think in this video I spent like 12 minutes on it, and I still ended up building it wrong. I was just too tunnel vision on playing red. I think everyone can spend a little more time, and work a little bit more on constructing their decks in Limited. It's not as easy as it always seems. Sideboarding too, especially in a format like this where you get a lot of playables because it's so high powered and there's so many decisions to be made. So open draw land if we do, we're just in great shape. We don't, but that's actually a really good draw. Next to a land, almost as good as a land because we can trade with the Gremlins, and then the turn afterwards we can guaranteed play Naturalists. We can even play Mimic if we really want to. We could let the Peace Strider live and then copy it with Mimic. I don't love that line because I don't get any immediate value. I gain 3 life, but that's not really good value or good tempo, and then they can just kill the Predator Mimic, and then I'm not in a great spot again, and I have to let the Peace Strider live to do that. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see what they play. If they really run out their hand, or if they use a removal spell and the cause like the Predator, and I feel like I need to stabilize somehow, maybe. But even then, the Naturalist is still just better for stabilizing because it's a 4/4 and it kills a 3/3. Skip ahead a little bit, see what happens. Okay, they play an Eager Construct. I missed a Scry, actually, which I shouldn't do. Here we go. There's the Scry. Play an Eager Construct to get a Gremlins trigger. We'll probably just trade with the Gremlins here and then Naturalist 3/3 next turn, and then we should be in good shape. But we will see what happens. Yeah, so I'll say it again. I know I've said it a lot, but feedback's appreciated. I can't keep this on top, unfortunately. I think I really need to look for an actual land, especially a mountain, to start casting these red spells, because the Code of the Flame Fiends are really, really going to get me back into this game. So back to what I was saying. Feedback is always appreciated, especially here. You played a Cranial Plating, which is really annoying, because now it takes 7 trample, but I'm still feeling good about this game, and I can kill it next turn. I'll probably jump Peace Rider here just to gain 3 life. In case next turn they kill our Naturalist, I can jump it again, and then I've saved some life, provided I draw land. I'm going to take a break from commentating and just say what I meant to say and stop getting interrupted, which is that I'm always welcoming to feedback, and I very much appreciate it almost all the time. So if you do not like, I'd prefer to record it in 2 separate batches, and I would assume you guys do as well, because the last time I recorded, I ended up getting really burnt out. I like the second, and then the second match, and I assume my commentary kind of deteriorated as I just got tired of talking. But if you don't like it, I'm happy to go back to the other way. So the feedback's appreciated. I'll stop talking about it. So yeah, I can't cycle the Apparition and also play the Naturalist, which is unfortunate. It's not quite as good as the Forest. Forest would have been a lot better there. Now I have to decide whether I want to kill the Plating or the Peace Rider. I think I end up killing the Plating, because the issue is that if I kill the Peace Rider, he can just equip the Construct, and then I kind of have to block. And then what do I do next turn? I don't know. I can maybe kill a 1 toughness creature with my Clear Shot, because I can get a 0/1, and I can cycle the 4/5 to get a forest, but it's just not where I want to be. So I think about it a lot, but I think I have to kill the Plating, unfortunately. I'm pretty screwed either way to a removal spell, because either way I'm taking a bunch of damage here. If I kill the Peace Strider, I could maybe beat a removal spell, more likely at least, because if he kills the Naturalist and attacks us for 5 with the Cranial Plating on the construct, then we play another creature, then we are technically alive, but this is just a lot better if we don't draw a good card next turn. So I think I have to go for this here and say, okay, if he's a removal spell, I'm probably dead. He can kill it, attack me for revenge. I mean, I can make a Chumper and maybe draw a blocker. So I could have been a removal spell, maybe. Alright, so we don't draw too well, but we've got a Clear Shot. We can cycle the Aberration and step attacking the spawn, and then use Clear Shot, and next turn we have a land plus Mimic. So if the Blood Judgment survives, it's great. Or sorry, if the Conclave Naturalist survives, we're just in a great shape. We could copy it and probably win the game. I can't have Clear Shot, so I can't really get punished by them trying to make the trainee bigger. I could have a Clear Shotted main phase to play around like an instant speed pump spell as well as an equipment, but with only 5 mana and only 1 card in hand, it doesn't seem worth it. Right? They can go like, I guess, Darksteel Axe equip with 2 mana up and then somehow use that 2 mana to give it +2/+0 or something. It doesn't seem likely or possible. I think leaving up the removal spell is much more important, because they could like play a TBR or something that I would like to kill a creature in response to, or otherwise I die, if that makes any sense. Pyrite, sure, I might want to just kill the Bloodshot Trainee / Peace Strider in response here, because otherwise they could like go a Braid plus Shack the Spellbomb for 2 damage to kill my Naturalists here, but didn't quite seem worth it. I'm not sure why I did it. It might have been worth it. Didn't end up mattering, so yeah, the game's just over here. They have no good attacks, really. We eat their creature, and then we just get to play Progenitor Mimic next turn, and the game's over. If they attack us, then we can block with the spawn, and then sack it for mana to use the Clear Shot and take no damage. So yeah, we're just in great shape. And I just had to exchange the Aberration for a land, because I'm actually not sure why. It doesn't really seem worth it, right? We'll run it through, because either way I get to play Progenitor Mimic next turn, because if I don't cycle it, then I get to keep the spawn, so then I'll have 2 spawns. This way I get a forest, but what's a forest doing here? Not really much, given that if I find a mountain, I can play my spells, and if I don't, the extra mana isn't really worthwhile. So I think I actually could and should have saved the Aberration there, but it really doesn't matter. I'm at 7 life. He has no board state. He could burn us down to 5 maybe, which is actually why I kill the Spellbomb, so that he can't burn us out unless or it's harder for him to burn us out, because I think that's the only way I feel like I'm losing this game at this point. But killing the Peace Rider is also totally acceptable there. I actually might stick with it. The Pirate is better. I mean, I guess this gets punished. We die to Enlightened Disintegration. I think we die to that either way, right? Yeah, we die to that either way. We take 7 either way. This way, removal spell's a little worse. They can kill our Naturalist that's copied and then tackles everything, and then we block and go to 2. So actually, I should have killed the Peace Rider. That was a little greedy. I don't really know why I did that, but turns out not to matter, so I guess it's fine. Here, we should definitely board out red. We'll see if I do. I probably won't. Definitely boarding out this Riku. Even if I didn't cut red, I also should just cut this Riku. I didn't talk about that earlier. I didn't think about it too much, but like Riku's just like, what is it doing in this deck? Actually, I think I did talk about that, because you need blue to copy, and if my blue sources are Rapacious Dragons rather than Islands, it's kind of rough. And the Rapacious Dragons are already very taxed because I have the 2 Flame Fiends, which Flame Fiend will usually eat both of my tokens, because I need 1 to sack and I need 1 for a second red source, unless I already have 2, which is somewhat unlikely. And Vigorate seems like a good card to bring in, just some tempo for 0 mana. The lift gain for them is obviously irrelevant. This board plan seems fine. Probably cut another 5-drop, to be honest, like Dragon. I mean, it's hard to have Dragon. Probably got the Conjurer's Closet. Like, it's great if it works, but paying 5 mana to just destroy an artifact, which is the best case scenario tempo-wise, doesn't seem worth it versus a red-black Eye deck, especially on the draw. So I'd probably cut the Conjurer's Closet here. Cathartic Reunion also seems like a fine cut. I did definitely cut the Conjurer's Closet, so, I mean, I think I'm thinking about bringing in blue again, like the last time, and cutting the red, but it just doesn't quite work here. I think the red's actually fine in this matchup. And the other thing about making the blue is I can just board it into the red if I really need to, and, like, this is a matchup where Flame Fiend and Dragon are actually quite good. Still 700 would be okay against them, but no, I think the red's definitely worth it. I think I would cut the Closet, though, for, like, anything, literally anything else. Closet is just such horrible tempo at this point. Don't really have much else, but pretty much anything's better than Conjurer's Closet. It's real bad here. I could even just bring in the Seal Sabotage and say, okay, well, I can do it off the Dragon, and that's a bunch of extra tempo, and then turn that to play the Rapacious Dragon. Great hand. Sucks we're on the draw, but we've got a almost guaranteed turn 3 Naturalists, or turn 4 Naturalists, which is just great against their deck, given that they're relying somewhat heavily on Peace Striders. So it's a pretty easy keep. I'm not sure I'm thinking so much. I'm on the draw. I can't really, I mean, yeah, obviously if I had 2-drop, it'd be great, but there's 3 2-drops in my deck, right? So I just can't mulligan into 2 3-drop, and I've got a perfectly keepable hand here, as much as I'd like to. We keep, they keep, we're both on 7. Hopefully they don't have a 1-drop. I mean, I could easily just get tempoed out with this hand. Even if I draw land, I can still get tempoed out. There's no guarantee. It's a little awkward because it does die to the Naturalist. That thing having Indestructible does come up a lot more than I'd like to admit in the set. It's actually not a bad draw because we play the Tumble Magnet into it, and the Tumble Magnet can buy us so much time. So it's not bad. It's not great, though. I'm mostly looking for the land here to make sure we can actually play the Naturalist in turn 4, but if we don't, we just play the Tumble Magnet and save up. Okay, so now we get the Naturalist in turn 4 guaranteed, which is nice. They're not putting too much pressure on us. They played a 1/1 for 2 mana, which is totally fine. Like, they can equip it to hit us for 3, but that's not reasonable. Not a scary clock. I'm not sure why I'm taking so long here. I'm actually behind them on the time clock. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. So they just play land, equip it, and pass. Not too scary at all for me. This is about as good as I could have hoped for. Axe is a little bit annoying, but next turn we can just Conclave Naturalist the Retriever, and then the turn afterwards we can Flame Fiend their board. No, we can't. We don't have an artifact. We can't Flame Fiend their board, but the turn afterwards we can go Tumble Magnet plus Clear Shot, and then if we draw, and then we can Flame Fiend, right? So turn 4, we've got 5 mana because of the token. We can Naturalist, so we can Naturalist this Plating, which also works. But I think I have to Naturalist the Retriever here, so they can't get the Plating back. Plus they have no creatures in play, so Naturalisting the Retriever is good. It's a little awkward because we can't actually kill the Plating, but we have a bunch of ways to kill their creature, so I'm not really too worried about this Plating. This game's looking good. And I also have a bunch of Chompers off the Awakening Zone, so the Plating's not too scary. So I think we just have to Naturalist the Retriever here. It's just too much tempo to miss. Next turn we can go Magnet plus Clear Shot, and the turn afterwards we can Flame Fiend, sack the Magnet. It sucks we're not getting optimal Magnet value, but Flame Fiend with any artifact is just disgusting. It'll just at least get a 2-for-1 probably, and maybe get the face damage into, as well as putting a 4-4 in play. Looking good. Could flood here, actually. It is possible I just flood out and lose. It feels bad, but what are you going to do? I'm not sure why I'm taking so long to click yes. Skip ahead a little bit. So they play a Salivating Gremlins and pass. That's a little scary because you're getting Trample, which means the Chompers aren't nearly as good. An Aberration. I'm tempted to just play the Aberration here because they missed the land last turn. Like, I should probably press play. So what's the worst that happens here if I play Aberration? I mean, there's really not that much that can go wrong here, is there? Yeah, I think I should have played the Aberration, and then next turn I can go, like, Tumble Magnet plus Flame Fiend, or just Flame Fiend as a 4/4 plus the Clear Shot, right? I play Aberration. I guess they can double equip and just force me to walk, and then I have to trade my natural stuff, which I don't really want to since I'm kind of short on threats, so this seems fine as well. I just main phase it to play around a removal spell on the Naturalist, like a Cast Down or whatever. It seems like pretty free equity, and I just get my 5 damage. This seems fine too. This way I can tap their creature, I can attack them for 4 again. Next turn I can play the Aberration, tap the creature again, hopefully kill 2 of their creatures with the Flame Fiend on my turn after tapping the last time with the Magnet and running out of value, and then just being ahead on tempo and killing them. Could lose like a Bone Picker maybe, it could be really annoying, but I can also just save the Magnet and just keep tapping down the Bone Picker if they try to suit it up. Tumble Magnet's really very, very good against equipment decks. It's possible I should actually take the card more just as a sideboard tech versus equipment decks, but I'm not sure. So this game's looking good. Nice, quick, easy one. Not getting punished by our heavy 5-drops because luckily we do our ramp, in this case Awakening Zone. Skip ahead. Okay, so they play Bone Picker, like mildly scared of that. I think I should have tapped it end step. I'm not sure why I didn't. Yeah, I just missed 4 damage for no reason. These charges are almost worthless given that I'm going to have to sack this thing to Flame Fiend eventually. So I just missed 4 damage there. That was a, like, relatively, excuse me, that was a relatively large punt there. There's just no reason to do that whatsoever. Well, hopefully I won't get punished by it, but yeah, that was just really bad. 4 damage is really important here because it allows me to pressure them before they, like, play under the flyer and somehow kill me with trample damage or Temur Battle Rage or something crazy. But I do kind of have to be scared of Temur Battle Rage, right? Like, with the Tumble Magnet in play, I don't have to be so scared, but if I'm going to sack the Tumble Magnet to the Flame Fiend, they can just get me with the TBR, like a 7-power double strike trampler, right? If they put the equipment on and play TBR, Temur Battle Rage. So I do be scared of that. So they're equipping here, and I guess we'll tap it down. I don't want to take 5, let alone 10 with the TBR, even though I would technically survive on board. They do have Pirate's Spell Bomb, so easy tap. I should have really done it on their end step, given that these charges really aren't worth much, given that I'm sacking the Flame Fiend pretty soon. Not sure why I did that, but Mistakes happen. Not looking like they want to get punished. That's a little obnoxious because they can tap our Tumble Magnet. So now they can, and then now I have to sack Tumble Magnet to kill their Bone Picker because otherwise they tap our Tumble Magnet end step on our end step, and then they can kill us with a TBR. So now we have to kill this Bone Picker. But luckily they're pretty dead, right? They're still dead, but they would be a lot more dead if I played better, right? Because they'd be at 1 here, or they'd just be dead here, right? I would hit them for 4 last turn, 4 this turn, or 8 this turn, and then I did take 4 with the Flame Fiend, and they'd be dead. So just a major punt for me. I mean, shit happens. Oversights happen. What am I gonna do? They do seem to happen a lot with me, but I guess you guys have to learn to live with them, and I'll tell you why I made the mistakes in the future. So hopefully you guys can still learn from them, even though I didn't notice them in the present. I think I tunnel vision a lot. Most of my mistakes come from me tunnel visioning, and by that I mean, for those of you who don't know exactly what that means, I mean like just focusing too much on one aspect and getting too locked into a plan and then not understanding that. That's why I built my deck incorrectly with all these 5-drops, because I was like, oh, I wasted all these picks on these red cards, and these red cards are really good, and the Flame Fiends are great with the 1-drop that tutors a 6-drop, and I just have to play red, and I just didn't even think about playing blue. Or I guess I did, and then I was just too locked in on it, if that makes any sense. So that's something you can try and avoid. Maybe that'll be the title of this video. You guys will already know, but I guess I won't. Still looking good here, but them being dead would obviously be a lot better than them having a chance here, right? Because they can tap our Tumble Magnet. I went to attack first so that they don't know that we're going to sack our Tumble Magnet. Otherwise, they could have tapped it end step. So I feel like we're going to go for the kill here. So we just tapped Flame Fiend, 100%. And I probably should have sacked a Spawn to get the Whisper down too, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, they're both fine. That's not a decision that really matters. Mostly just have to go for the Flame Fiend. So yep, 2 and 2. They go to 5. They need to play 2 blockers or answer 2 of our creatures, and then if that happens, hopefully they won't have a creature left, so they can't kill me with the TBR plus these equipped. So we're feeling very good here. Not seeing myself losing anytime soon. Yeah, I mean they don't have a mana to play like a haste creature and equip and do all that. So yeah, we're just in great shape here. We still can't lose, but them being dead is obviously better than them not being dead. So pretty major mistake on my part, but I won't beat myself up too much over it. Not really beating myself up. That's something I also want to work on. I think I talked about it last time, but learning from your mistakes is good, and acknowledging them is very good. You don't want to just gloss over them and say, whatever, mistakes happen, but you also don't want to beat yourself up too much. That I went to the opposite spectrum, or at least I used to, and I would go like, oh, why am I such an idiot? I still do this on stream sometimes, so if you see me doing this on stream and you want to come hang out, if you come hang out live, make sure to tell me not to do that, because I do it too much, and it's not healthy, and it doesn't really encourage growth, right? Acknowledging mistakes is good, but it encourages growth, but beating yourself up over them doesn't, if that makes any sense. I guess this is a good time to plug my. I'm gonna skip ahead. They conceded because they realized they're dead. It's a good time to plug my Twitch. I stream on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays from 7 p.m. Pacific to usually midnight, but that's flexible. And I also start or end a little earlier or later, maybe in the half an hour range. So go follow me on Twitch. Link in the description if you're interested. I'm also going to be incorporating I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit here. I'm also going to be incorporating a variety stream on Saturdays, where I play other games. Right now, in the queue are Fall Guys mostly, and Hearthstone Battlegrounds as well, because I do enjoy playing Battlegrounds. I might even make some more YouTube content, because I've gotten some people messaging me saying that they're interested. To those people, thank you for letting me know what you like, so I can try and incorporate it in the future. Unfortunately, Battlegrounds content, I'm not as good as Battlegrounds, and I'm not as great at explaining my lines, and there's people who are better than me doing that. I think in Magic, there's a pretty big niche going on right now of people who are good at Magic and stream, but they don't explain all their lines as much as I do. So I can hopefully fill that niche, whereas in Battlegrounds, there's people who can do that already. That might be getting a little too deep. Anyways, today, I think this Saturday, I'll probably post this either today's Thursday, I'm recording this, or I might post it on Friday, but anyway, so tomorrow, I'll post it tomorrow, so yeah, so I'll post it, I'm going to post this on Friday, and then the day afterwards, Saturday, I will be playing some Fall Guys with viewers, so if you want to come check that out and hang out, let me know. So I don't love this hand, but I had to keep it. I mean, it was 2 lands, it had a Gleaming Barrier, if it dies, I can play the Reunion. It's very awkward, but yeah, it is pretty awkward, but if I draw a single mountain, I can just turn a bunch of these 5-drops into spells. Here again is where Reunion's a little awkward. It's still a great card. Don't mind. How am I can't communicate this properly. It's still a great card, mind you. It just is awkward because the Riku's the free card because the card sucks. I don't know why the hell it's in my deck. And then I want to keep all of these. So I don't want to discard after that. Bit awkward, but it's fun. Alright, so Core Tapper's a bit scary because there's lots of crazy things you can do with that. You can make lots of mana off like an Everflowing Chalice. Penhead Prism is what they're going to do with it, so it's just a mana rock every turn, plus you can sack it for 2 mana, so it's kind of nice here. I'd still like to play with that card. It just seems so hard to play it and to build a deck around it because if you don't get what you need, being like the Penhead Prisms or the Chalice, it's just horrible, and if the Chalice gets blown up, it's horrible. It just seems awkward, I don't know. The thing in particular that I really want to do is go infinite with that, an Everflowing Chalice on 7, and then the 1/4 that when it ETBs, you can untap an artifact or creature, and the Clockwork Assembler, which is you can pay 7 mana to copy an artifact. So you copy the 1/4, you untap your Chalice that has 7 counters on it, You tap it for 7 mana, and then you keep doing that over and over again until you make an infinite 1/1/1/4 with haste and kill your opponent. But it just doesn't seem feasible. I'm still kind of go for it, but it just doesn't work. More feasible seems like you just randomly get a Mana Echoes late and then draft the Assembler and then somehow combo off. I don't know. Doesn't seem likely, and it seems like you're most likely better off just doing this. But maybe as the format goes on and I get more bored of it and tired of winning, then I'll do this instead. All right, so you draw the mountain, get very lucky. Drew very well this game. I mean, I just slam with Thragtusk here while they're tapped out. Well, not tapped out, but they have to use counter with the Prism. Next turn we can go for Closet with the Awakening Zone, and then if that goes off, we just win. If we copy the Thragtusk, we're also in great shape with the Mimic. I'm kind of resigned on this Thragtusk like living and resolving here, unfortunately. But I can reunion away these blue cards if I need to look for more threats, because Naturalist is also great with the Mimic and the Closet. Got the Barrier. I really don't want to discard Mimic here because I can splash it off the treasure from the Flaming Barrier. Alright, well, that's obnoxious. That means I'm not getting through. And I don't know why they killed it main phase. There's really no reason for them to do that. They could at least wait until I played the Closet, because now I get to know that they're going to kill it and not have to play the Closet. So that was just a bit of a weird play from them. I guess they could want to get it back with like the 2/3 that returns an artifact, which they have actually. Okay, so that's why, I guess. Makes sense. Well, fair enough then. And we're not looking great here. We're just not looking great. We're getting pressured by flyers. Our hand's awkward. We can't really do much here. They've got a lot of mana, and I'm getting kind of scared of losing here. These Core Towers actually aren't too scary. They already have a fuck ton of mana, and I'm more worried about threats and or them killing our threats so we can't race them. But we are at a lot of life. We can hit him for 3 here. And if we draw, and that's not what I was hoping to draw. So I'll probably discard the Mountain and the Riku, because I feel like I need to keep the Predator Mimic at this point. I could also discard the Conjurer's Closet since the Thragtusk is gone, but Conjurer's Closet with Naturalist is just unbeatable. So I think I would discard the Riku and the Mountain. As you can see, I'm mosing over the two and deciding which between the two, but I think it has to be the Riku. Riku's just never doing anything in this game. I need an actual island for it to be good. At least okay, here's what I'm thinking about. I can actually discard the Closet and then mimic their Gargoyle and get it back, but that just seems like too cute to play. I think I should probably discard the Riku. I don't trust past Max to make the correct play, but I think the correct play is discard Riku, because I also have to find an actual island. Like, if I find Rapacious Dragon, at least I can splash Mimic nicely, but if I find a... But I can't play Riku off of it really, or at least I can't reuse Riku. And the 2/2 is just such bad tempo, and we're getting beaten down by these flyers. It just has to be the Riku. Alright, well, past Max made the right play. Good job, past Max. I'm proud of you. Draw some lands, and an Empath, which can still tutor 1 card. We'll play it. I guess now they know about the Flame Fiend, but double Flame Fiend is actually going to be really good here, and it's also great to blink that with the Conjurer's Closet. Well, not great, but it's okay. We've got two artifacts with the Flaming Barrier, so we can do this twice, which is pretty good. It's a little awkward on the current board, but we can kill these Core Tappers. Unfortunately, they can just sack in response, so they still get a fuck ton of mana and a fuck ton of splash mana. They're going to have 6 counters on a minimum, right? They can put 2 with tapping them this turn and then sack both of them. That's 6 counters. So their mana problem shouldn't really be an issue this game, but it is still good value, just getting them off the battlefield so they can't jump or whatever. I'm not sure why I didn't attack with the Beast there. I think I was scared of a second Gargoyle, right? Because if I attack with the Beast and they had to double block with the Core Tapper and the Gargoyle, and I kill the Gargoyle and get it back, it's pretty bad for me. But I don't think I should have attacked there. I could also just kill the Core Tapper and say, oh, you don't have that much mana, so I should threaten to kill the Core Tapper. So I think I just missed 3 damage there. That was an oversight. Probably getting tunnel vision on the Flame Fiend and not understanding that I can just get a free attack with the Beast there. Happens, what are you going to do? Excuse me, I have to sneeze. Excuse me. Don't forget to wear your masks, everyone. Stay safe out there. And if you're not going to wear a mask and you're around other people, if you're going to be that much of a dick, then at least sneeze into your shirt, not right into other people's faces. But I won't talk about that too much. So pretty easy Flame Fiend. Probably just kill as much of their stuff as I can and then attack them for 4. Yeah, so missing 3 damage might come back to bite me this game as I try to race their flyers. I also don't want to kill the Gargoyle because, again, if they get it back, they can loop it and get back the Capsule and all sorts of nasty stuff. So I'm not sure they kill these 3. And then we get 4 damage in. An interesting play from them that I actually thought about in the present was that they could have actually sacked the Capsule to kill our Flaming Barrier, and then we have to sack the treasure. But they don't know we have a second Flame Fiend, and they don't know we don't have a blue source either. Well, they kind of do because we discarded the Riku, but they don't know we have a second blue card we're splashing, so they probably won't kill the Flaming Barrier, although it is interesting play, and it would actually fuck us over pretty hard currently, since the artifacts are so relevant. We have another Flame Fiend, and we even want to blink it later on. Psychonograph, interesting. Yeah, that's really obnoxious, and now we don't have to kill anything. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why they attacked the second Core Tapper then. I attack this for 2 mana, so I can replay the Barrier. So I'm actually gonna pause here. My opponent, I think, made a pretty serious mistake. They attacked both Core Tappers when they didn't need to. They could have kept one around. Like, they have 2 extra mana on the Prism. So they could have just kept it and had 1 extra counter, right? If they want to sack it next turn, then they can. At least they can tap it first. So they just missed a free mana. I hope I'm explaining that correctly. So I attacked both the spawns and they're getting bounced anyway, so I can replay the Barrier. Still feeling okay, actually, since I got a lot of lands here. I'll play the Barrier. Next turn I can go Flame Fiend. It's a bit awkward to replay all my threats here, but I feel like we're fine. Next turn I can just Flame Fiend and kill some of their stuff. They have another Gargoyle. We're actually kind of in bad shape now, but it's okay. And now they might go for the Capsule on our Barrier in response to the Flame Fiend, which would actually be much more devastating now. We'll see how it goes, though. Still feeling good about this game, given they're just so low on cards. But there were certainly, like, if they just shift here, they're back in business pretty hard. That is not too scary. They probably put it in the Mechanist yet. Actually, I think I would have put it on the Gargoyle if that was them, because then it makes it awkward. Right now, I can kill their biggest flyer and their Iron Bully, or if they put it in the Gargoyle, I can only kill their biggest flyer or their Iron Bully, and I can't kill both. So, slight mistake for them, in my opinion. And yeah, they'll just kill the 4/4 here. I'm not too worried. It would actually be really bad for me if they killed the Gleaming Berry, but they don't know that, so they're not going to go for it. So we did this. We did Treasure. Next turn, we can go Progenitor Mimic after they use the Capsule on the Flame Fiend, I'm guessing. And then hopefully this will just win us the game. We can even get back the Barrier with it if we want. If we draw land, we can go Mimic, copy the Gargoyle, get back Barrier, replay it. And then, I mean, Progenitor Mimic, it's great to copy sweet stuff and big stuff, but, like, if it resolves and it makes a single token even, it's already pretty much always winning you the game. You really don't, it doesn't really feel like you need it. So they're not killing it here, which is somewhat interesting. And I guess that means that I have to go for just some mana acceleration, which actually makes sense. Because if I do all these, next turn I think I can play Flame Fiend plus Closet in the same turn. And assuming, hopefully by then and I'm assuming that they will kill one of our two creatures by then, so we'll actually be able to get value out of the Closet, as opposed to them killing the creature that we target in response. But maybe not. Maybe they'll just save it forever. I'm not sure. Maybe they're saving this Pendant Prism for like a Breya. Like, I wouldn't be surprised for them to have a Breya at this point and be wanting this for both those colors. And now they use the Capsule, so what? This is just weird. I'm not sure why they're doing it here. I'm not sure why they're main phasing it, but whatever. It's fine by me. I'm not sure why they didn't do it during my last turn either. So yeah, we can do lots of good stuff here. We can go Dragon and blink it. We can go Flame Fiend and blink it. Although we don't really need to blink it. What do I even do here? I think Passamax is playing a little too fast and a little too loose here. He's just like, there's just no reason to be playing this fast whatsoever. And then I guess you can get the Closet down and blink the Dragon, which is pretty good. I mean, don't get me wrong, this is a solid play, but it's not amazing. And I think I would have liked to have thought about it a little more before I made these plays. Because you could also, like, Mimic, copy the Predator, and then blink it, and copy the Gargoyle, and get back the Barrier, or vice versa, and do sweet stuff with that. Or you could Flame Fiend to kill their guy. I mean, I guess since this line's fine, because I'm not really under pressure. I'm at 10, you can tap my Dragon, I guess, if you want. So the next turn I have a bunch of Treasures, which I can Flame Fiend twice and hit him for, like, 8. So I guess the line's fine. I'm actually throwing lethal next turn if they don't use the Temple Magnet on my turn, right? Because I hit him for 7, down to 6. Or hit him for 6, down to 7, then Flame Feed them twice with the blink. So this line actually seems fine in hindsight. Still a little greedy, I think. Alright, they find that, they do this, so this game's just over. They didn't draw particularly well, they kind of flooded later on, but the deck also just seemed awkward, and they weren't able to tempo us out fast enough, even with the Cyclonic Rift. Cyclonic Rift is a good card, but only really if you're able to pressure your opponent when you're playing it, and they just didn't have the pressure in play. They had two power flyers, and we had a good amount of life, and our deck's also very good at redeploying, since all of our threats have refunds, have mana refunds like Rapacious Dragon and Colorless Predator and whatever. Yep, so they're just dead here, provided they don't tap one of our guys. So I guess we should go to combat first and see what they do. And if they don't tap, then they're dead. Okay, so they're dead. And they hit him for 6, and then hit him for 4 twice. So you guys see the line, hopefully. And that's game. Jets, GG. They do have one card in hand, so I could play on a removal spell, which actually means I should target the Gargoyle. So this is an interesting line. It's not super non-obvious, but I'll just explain it for the people who aren't aware. So since they have one card in hand and they have a Pendant Prism, it could easily be a cast down. And that means that if I hit them for 4 here, and then try to go to Mind Step, and then they kill it in response to the triggers, try and flicker it, then their Gargoyle lives, and maybe they could, like, I mean, there's really nothing they could do, but then I'm leaving them with a Gargoyle when I don't need to. And there's no life gain in the format, so I should actually hit their Gargoyle for 3 and then for 1, which also still leaves them dead with nothing, and then kill them. So whatever, they just conceded, but it was a relevant line, and good to talk about. Alright, I don't think we need Sideboard in this matchup. I mean, again, Seal Sabotage would be actually really good in this matchup. Actually, I think I should just bring in Seal Sabotage. Even though I'm splashing blue, I should still bring it in. It's just such an insane card against them. Like, I can play Dragon and leave it up in the same turn and counter their... Like, if that counters a Sanctum Gargoyle, it's just disgusting. They don't even get the EDB trigger. Yeah, I should have brought that a little more. Yeah, this game had a lot of misplays, but that's okay. But they're not, like, blatant misplays or misclicks like last draft, if you guys remember. I should have put a link to the last draft when I was talking earlier. Last draft I made a lot of misclicks and just blatant errors. This draft was more minute errors, deck building errors, things that I just didn't think about enough, and that's better to talk about and better to learn from. So I think a lot of people are in the expertise of, or past the, a lot of people who watch me are I'm having a hard time explaining this, are past making the dumb mistakes, the dumb misclicks like I did last time, and are more interested in the minute decisions that I've learned to make through my many years of playing Limited. I'm also thinking about the Uvenwald Mysteries because they are playing a somewhat controlled deck, and the Gleaming Mirror seems pretty horrible, aside from sacking the Flame Fiend. I think I have to leave it in because I want to keep the Flame Fiends in this matchup. I should really just cut the Riku for the Sift, I think, or for the Seal Sabotage, I think. I could even bring in the Sift, too. And just play mid-range, since we're not even trading off that much. I don't think I like the Mysteries. Yeah, definitely cut the Riku, Max. Good call. I think I just cut it for the Seal Sabotage as opposed to the Mysteries, since I can see the Mysteries not doing much where they, like, outrace us with flyers or whatever, since we can't answer them that well, but it's kind of nice with the dragons. It's kind of nice with the naturals that they have to kill. They are going to have a hard time. Unless we draw very awkwardly, they are going to have a hard time killing us before before, or they're having a hard time winning the game without also interacting with their creatures. So the Mysteries is probably fine. And then I cut the Tell Magnet, which seems fine. So it's nice to sack the Flame Fiend, but tapping their creatures isn't particularly relevant in this matchup. I definitely should cut Riku. I think I just have this obsession with, oh, Riku's so sweet. I want to do stuff with him. I've yet to like actually trigger him once in the entire time I've played the set, and I've played him like in 3 different decks, and I've yet to trigger him. So, anyways, I have to keep this hand. I mean, it's a turn 4 naturals against an artifact deck. If I draw one mountain, if this Rapacious Dragon was a forest, I don't think I'd keep it. But as is, I draw a single mountain, and I'm in business to cast all the spells in my hand and just start pressuring them. So I think I have to keep here. I'm on the draw too, which makes it. I mean, hands are just more keepable on the draw, just period. And we go to the mountain, so now we're in good shape. Miss our turn 3, which is a little awkward, but I mean, whatever. We go Dragon into Flame Fiend, or we can just go Naturalist and then into Dragon into Flame Fiend. And just every turn, we're playing a creature, and 2 of those 3 turns, we're also killing one of their threats. So the tempo should just start ramping up, and they should just die, hopefully. But the Flame Fiend, not great. This is what I was talking about, where we have to sack both treasures to the Dragon, unfortunately, because we only have 1 red source. But if we draw a second red source, then we can use both of these Flame Fiends, and that would just be completely insane. We shall see. I'm going to go for, what? An Everflowing Chalice / Pendant Prism here. We'll see what they do. Chalice, okay. So I'm getting a little scared of like big mana stuff, but game 1, they didn't really show us a lot to do with their mana. They seem like more of a value mid-range deck, so having a lot of mana off Chalice is annoying for us, but I'm not too scared of it. I'm not scared that they're going to like play a Sundering Titan or start jamming 5/7s and play every turn with Adapt Fund. Now the big 5-drop. 5-drop Tribal, as the title suggests. 5-drop Tribal, maybe that's a good title. 5-drop Tribal and Tunnel Vision. Tunnel Vision and 5-drop Tribal. I'll think of it later. I don't need to talk about it in the video. You guys already know what it is. Alright, so they're actually starting to pressure us. The mana's starting to ramp up for the Chalice, and they're getting value, so they're not running out of shit. I'm getting a little scared here. They're getting Sanctum Gargoyle, which is really obnoxious, because if we knock Tongue-Clave Naturals on anything, they just get it back. Not feeling great. I'll probably go for the Dragon here, so that turn afterwards I can kill Bully and Mechanist in the same turn, and that will mean that this turn they can't play the Gargoyle, unless they want to sack the Core Tapper, which I don't really give a shit about. Like, at some point, the Chalice, you could just say, oh, they have infinite mana off their Chalice, it's fine. What are you going to do about it? So I think I like the Dragon here, deciding it for the Flame Fiend next turn, but the Thragtusk also wasn't bad against the life and starts putting on pressure of my own, but given that the Rapacious Dragon also stops 2 damage from them, just seemed like the best play here. I do also have to, like, kind of be worried about Counterspell for them then, but them playing Counterspell just seems weird, because that deck's kind of clunky, and I don't think they can afford to play cards that they don't really align with their game plan, because if they have to mulligan, or if they just draw too many lands, and they have this one clunker that just doesn't quite function with their game plan, again, it's something hard to explain. So they're just chumping here because they want to play the Gargoyle and get it back for free. I think I just have to chump here still anyways. Hey, maybe not. It kind of sucks. Like, they get it back for free, and they play it for free, too, because they have a bunch of colorless mana off the Core Tapper. Yeah, maybe this wasn't worth it. Clearly they don't have anything else to do, or they wouldn't have done this. So, maybe this wasn't worth it. I mean, then I guess the next turn I could go Flame Fiend and kill both of their 2/2s and start getting in there. Wow, Stockpile, too. Nice. Well, I guess that means they're not Gargoyle in this turn, but yeah, it still didn't work out great for me. So now it's in the graveyard. And my Flame Fiend's awkward. I'll probably Naturalist their Stockpile here. I could also see an argument for just jamming Thragtusk and play. That's actually a really good draw, because now we can do both Flame Fiends. So I can just Flame Fiend and wipe their whole board here. And that's actually pretty tempting, and then just start clocking them, and next turn I get to play Flame Fiend again. Hopefully wipe their whole board, start clocking them. The issue is I actually can't wipe their whole board, because they're probably going to play a Gargoyle and a Fairy Mechanist, but it can kill most of their creatures and then let me get in with both my creatures, so it seems like a fine line. I'm also pretty tempted to kill the Stockpile here, but I definitely either have to kill the Stockpile. I can't play the Thragtusk. I have to either kill the Stockpile or kill all their creatures, because otherwise they can start like sacking for scries and shit. I guess an issue with the Flame Fiends is they can sack all their creatures, but then I guess we get to at least keep treasures, so that's kind of nice. Yeah, I think I like the Flame Fiend here. They already have an artifact to get back. The Stockpile is going to be awkward. I mean, it's going to give them scries here, but it's going to be awkward in terms of making 1/1s next turn, since they want to play like Gargoyle plus Mechanist here. I think line's fine. And in fact, if they sack, like I said, if they sack all their creatures, I don't actually have to sack the treasure. With Flame Fiend, you declare targets first and how much damage you're going to deal, and then your opponent chooses when to let that trigger resolve, and then once it does, you get to choose whether you want to sack or not. So I actually get to keep the treasure here if they sack all the permanents, which is kind of free value. I mean, might end up coming up. Next turn we have, in fact, next turn we have 10, we have 10 mana. We've got 6 lands, 2 off the Whisper, since we do have Ferocious, and 2 treasures if we want. If we really want to, I probably won't, because I want to save the treasures for the Flame Fiend, but if I want next turn, I could play Thragtusk plus Naturalist in the same turn and just really ramp up the pressure. But Flame Fiend is also just good pressure because it kills a creature and puts a 4/4 in play. Just such a good card. Just such a nice clean card. So I think in 2 of the 3 matchups, having the Flame Fiend in the main deck actually worked out well. In one of them it didn't, and me Tunnel Visioning and not boarding out red in the second game of the first match almost punished me and lost me the match. Luckily I won game 3 after I figured out how to sideboard. But I still maintain that main deck it should have just been blue. It's just so much more consistent. Like, I didn't have to draw a second mountain here, and if I didn't, the second Flame Fiend would have actually been really awkward. I would have had like 1 less treasure and it just wouldn't have worked. Not sure why they're taking so long. But yeah, this game's pretty over, and looking forward to win the match, get another 3-0. 8 minutes left. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. It's being slow. Okay, so you play Gargoyle. They get back the Fairy Magnus as expected. They have a bunch of mana off the Chalice because they sacked the Core Tapper to put 2 more counters on it when I tried to kill it with the Flame Fiend. Hopefully they whiff. Yep, they do. Lucky me. Because if they start hitting more Gargoyles and looping, we could actually still lose this game, as difficult as it is. Okay, that's not too bad, because now we get to get even more value for Flame Fiend. So we'll just kill the 3-4. I think they're trying to do this to make sure our Dragon can't get in. So we could just go Naturals plus Thragtusk and kill the Gargoyle, which I actually don't hate. And then we can play Creeping Whisper of the Wilds on the same turn. I actually kind of like that better, because that means next turn we get to go Thragtusk plus Coldotha Flame Fiend because of the Whisper. And in addition, that means that the Flame Fiend gets better value, because Coldotha, or the Flame Fiend, you can divide up how much damage you want to deal, whereas the Naturals you can't. It can only kill 1 permanent. So I guess this is awkward in the respect of they get to keep some Chumpers here, but I think this is just a better play overall. And oh no, it's awkward because I can't kill their stockpile, which could actually end up being an issue late game because they can chump all my stuff, but I'm not too worried about it. It's a good play. Oh, I actually remember what happened this game. All right, be prepared for me to make some pretty big. Not now. It is still actually Tunnel Vision. I think Tunnel Vision is the source of most of my mistakes, but it's pretty bad. So just be prepared. All right, so what do? They play Sanctum Gargoyle. They get back a Sanctum Gargoyle, so that's very bad for me. And all this mana off the Chalice is actually really punishing us. But they're out of cards here, so unless they get some scries though. So now that the stockpile is punishing us. If I really want to play around a second Gargoyle, it's possible I should have just killed the stockpile. Because now they get a bunch of scries, well, 1 scry to look for like another Gargoyle or a Mirror Retriever, because they can sack the Mirror Retriever and then just go off all again and get all this value back. So we actually could lose here at this point. I'm not actually feeling amazing. I should check how they scry. We'll see if I do. Earlier I don't think it mattered, but now it definitely does, because if they scry top, it might change my play. They did, which is very scary, because if this is like a Sanctum Gargoyle or a Mirror Retriever, it's actually really bad for us, because we want to kill these Gargoyles to get back in on tempo, but I think we have to, and just hope, because the more time we give them, the more they go off with the stockpile and the Gargoyles and all that nonsense. So we just have to start pressuring them. So we play the Flame Fiend. I don't know what we do with it. Probably kill their 3-4 Gargoyles so that our Rapacious Dragon get in, and then just attack with everyone. Yeah, that seems fine. We've got a bunch of 4-4s, and we should be in okay shape. Yeah, I think that definitely has to be the line. I'm a little bit scared of like a... I guess they could also have a... excuse me. What did they play last game? The card that bounces all my permanents. Cyclonic Rift. Which would be obnoxious, but then I get a 3-3 off the Thragtusk, and we should still be just be in good shape. They're double walking a 4-4. I think they should maybe have double walked the Flyer, but it's very hard to know to do that. So we killed the Sanctum Gargoyle. We hope they don't have another one, or we're just screwed. They take 3. We play a Thragtusk, and we're just in pretty good shape at this point. I think I can think about killing the Mechanist, because then if they have a Gargoyle or a Mirror Retriever, they can't loop as much. But I don't know. I think I should just kill a bigger creature and just hope they don't have it. I'm really not sure about this play. These plays are more going to do, and I'm actually not sure what's right, but you'll see a pretty big misplay pretty soon, I promise you. So we'll see what they kept on top. Hopefully it won't be too scary. Clearly it was good enough to keep, or they would have scryed again on their upkeep with the Bully after we had that insane turn. They might have also just clicked through it or not had to stop on their upkeep. We'll see. Well, that's not too scary. It's a 5-3, but it regenerates, but they don't have a Black Source to regenerate it. I guess the only way it could really go bad for me is if I'm a fucking idiot and I forget that they don't have a Black Source up, and I think that I can't attack into it because it can regenerate. But what kind of fucking idiot would not notice that their opponent didn't have a Black Source up? Like, come on, how stupid do you have to be? No one's that stupid, right? Right? No one's that stupid, right? Right, guys? No one's that stupid. It's right there. They only have one Black Source, and they tapped it for this. No reason to think about this attack. You just attack with everyone and they lose. Right? Oh, God. I'm so stupid. Alright, I'm not going to beat myself up too much, but yeah, you guys, I'll spoil it for you a little bit. I don't know if they don't have Black Source, and I'm like, this trade seems horrible. I'm trading a 4-4 for 2 1-1s for a 2-2 and a 1-1, and they get to regenerate? I don't want to make that trade. I'll just go wide later or some dumb other shit. It was bad. It was really bad. Oh, God. Alright. Yeah, I mean, obviously the correct play here is attack with everyone. They have to trade and chump, and then they go to 4, and the game's just fucking over. So that's obviously the correct play. But I punt. Even if they could regenerate, I think that would still be the correct play, because then they have no creatures, and I have 3, and they're still dead next turn if they don't draw something good, even though they do get 2 scries. So yeah, this just yeah, I don't know what to say. I'm fucking stupid. Leave a like if I'm fucking stupid. Can I curse on YouTube? Well, too late. I'm not editing that shit out, so just for cursing on YouTube. We'll see if I get punished. They drop like a Sanctum Gargoyle or something. Yeah. Yep. Yep. They had big negative gargoyle, and now they have a bunch of blockers. Yep. And now it actually can regenerate, so our ground blockers are like actually dead. So fucking stupid. Oh. They get capsule too. Well, they do tap their black source for this though, so I guess I can still attack now. Actually, I don't think they should have played the Mechanist there, because leaving up a black source would be really nice. I'm looking at my sideboard, trying to figure out how to sideboard since I'm so stupid. Alright, well, we're still going to win this game because we're very lucky. We can play this and kill a gargoyle and attack with everyone. They can't regenerate, so now we can get it off the battlefield, and we're still actually in great shape. If they left up the regenerate, they'd actually be in a much better position here, I think. And just not play the Mechanist. Since we can't really go wide, right? I mean, I guess it helps double block, but it just doesn't seem worth it for my protective. Right? They don't play it. They can block a 4-4, they can chump a 4-4, they can double block a 4-4, and they take 3 off the dragon. I mean, I guess they would have gotten punished by the naturals, but they don't know that. They don't know I have naturals. I think I just have to kill a creature here. Like, I'd obviously like to kill the Everflowing Chalice or whatever, the stick to stockpile, but I think I just need to kill him quickly, or I might still lose the late game. So everyone gets in. I noticed now that they don't have a black source up. Didn't notice that last turn, but this turn we do, luckily. And the game's still just pretty over. Despite my massive punt. Excuse me, they decided to walk the flyer. They take 4 down to 3, and we're feeling good. We've got 3 lethal threats, and they only have 1 creature here. And in addition, their creature is just a chump blocker. It's not even very big. They can capsule one of our things if they draw a swamp, but yeah, this game is just over. Never punished. Always lucky. That's how you become a pro player, boys. Take it from me. Not that I am anymore. I should really stop saying that. I suck so much online. I promise. Watch my paper coverage. I'm a whiz, but online I just can't play for shit. I mean, I still can play pretty well, but my theory's good. I just can't focus. I can't get in the zone. I talked about it in my last video. All right, so this is gonna be it for me. You guys can clearly tell they're just dead on board. They have no cards. This game's over. They can scribe. It doesn't matter. So that's gonna be it for me. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you had a good time, and I also hope that you learned some things. Feedback's appreciated. If you want to check out my YouTube channel, my Twitch channel, the link is in the description. Go ahead and follow me there so you can catch me live sometime where you guys can ask questions if you want. I love discussing things on stream, so pop in there. We can discuss lines or whatever you want to talk about. It could be real life stuff too. I'm just there to chill with people. Actually, they didn't die because the capsule triggered it. I forgot. Okay, so they're not dead yet. Hold on. All right. Well, I'm still gonna do the outro here, but they aren't dead. The game's still just over. There's like not much they can find at this point. We get the mysteries too for value. Also, you can follow me on Twitter. Link in the description to that as well. Where I post updates and stuff. Yeah, they decided to concede there because they don't find anything, and it's nice clean 3-0. Follow me on Twitter as well, and I guess that'll be it for me. Thank you guys for watching the video, and I will see you in the next one.